Welcome, student, to a fucking gay ass PowerPoint about Kanye. The lecture starts at whatever time I have on screen, but before that, there's a few things about it I'd like to address. Firstly, this was inspired by the lectures done by the procrastinators, so you should definitely check those out after watching this. Secondly, this was just a casual thing I did with my girlfriend, who is a huge BTS stan, which means expect even more cringe out of this channel than usual. I don't even know how that's possible. This lecture is also riddled with minor inaccuracies that I've tried to correct in post because I'm a fan of Kanye, not necessarily a fan of all the artists mentioned. I'll either have this sound effect, or future me will interrupt past me to address the issue. Also, my mic glitched during certain parts of the recording. I have no idea why. The first one happened around 10 minutes in, so it's not like it's because I was using it for too long. You can usually tell what I'm trying to say from context, but I have added text on the screen to help you understand if that helps. Finally, in the very first slide of the lecture, I forgot to mention some crucial information about Kanye's early life. His mom divorced his dad when Kanye was just 3 years old, and his mother raised him virtually by herself, leading to them having a really close relationship. With all of that out of the way, let's fucking go, bitch. Okay, so are you fucking ready, Leah?
No.
Are you?
No.
Okay.
Well, I'm here.
You know this man, don't you? I'm assuming you do.
Yeah. Oh, I just noticed this.
Yeah. Comedic genius, as always. Okay. So, before we can get down to this man, his big career, all the goss that comes with it, because there is a lot of goss, as I'm assuming, even as a fucking basic bitch faggot, you probably know some of the shit that happens. Just because of the early life. Okay, that there is the cover to like demo tapes from like the 90s that were like recently found, as in like within the last 5 years, like on YouTube. Like some guy just found them in like a garage sale or whatnot in like America.
Oh, really?
Yeah, just found like these fucking demo tapes and he put them on YouTube, and that's the cover for it. I'm not sure if it's the cover of the actual tapes, but that's the cover for the video on YouTube. Just letting you know. If you actually listen to the tapes, a lot of talent, a lot of potential, very of his era. He was this forward-thinking fucking mastermind that he is today. You know, he isn't the greatest rapper dead or alive. You know, the greatest artist dead or alive, which is an actual quote he said about himself. So became involved in the hip hop scene from a young age. Started making music when he was just 13 years old. A lot of it was like his mom's support. Mom was like, "Yeah, you do you." Yes, question.
It's not a question, it's just a point.
Yeah.
Now you start writing. I love it.
Okay, no one fucking cares about you weeaboo faggot shit. Okay.
Okay, I'm only joking. Continue.
Moving on. Received a scholarship for Chicago's American Academy of Art. He dropped out when he was 20. Because he was like, fuck college, right? Because he was like...
Wait, he went to art school and it was like, nah, actually, I'm not.
Yeah, because he was like, art school is like a waste of time, and there's fucking no point in going there to get a degree. Especially because like his producer stuff, like as an artist, the only reason to go to art school is to make connections and become like a successful artist. But he already made the connections by just being that talented. So he was like, well, there's no point in me even finishing this degree because a degree to help me get a job, but I'm already getting job offers anyway. So he was just like, okay, fuck it. He drops out. Funny thing to note, his mom is actually the head of the English department in like I forget which university, but like she's like an actual college professor.
Oh.
And he dropped out because he's like, no, fuck that shit. It's gay. It's a waste of time. It's a dead meme. So he started in the music industry, but not as a rapper, as a producer. He did always want to be a rapper though. And he was like real influential, but like every time he would like rap, like people were just like, shut the fuck up, Kanye. Just shut the fuck up.
Who gives a shit about your stupid rap?
No one liked it at all. Especially like his biggest single, which I'm gonna get to a bit more later, but like it's Jesus Walks. So like it's a rap about like Jesus Christ, and everyone was like, because this was like late 90s, early 2000s, so you gotta like remember, like it's all about like drug dealers and this whole like thug life thing, and Kanye's like, but Jesus, am I right? And they were like, that's got like no marketability at all. Who the fuck wants to hear it? So even though it's a great song, they just didn't think it would sell. Also, like he said in like somewhat recent interview, like there's like a, I think our next guest is with David Letterman. It's like a Netflix thing where he was like, yeah, just looking back at like the raps I was doing back then, I was like acting like I was the greatest, but I was fucking like shit. Like by Kanye's own admittance, you know. But he did always want to be a rapper, and that was the key thing to know. Because he was like, yeah, being producer is great, but I want my own career, I want my own name, I want to be big. Jay-Z,
Okay.
real important man in Kanye's life. Um, he like the Blueprint album is like one of Jay-Z's like biggest albums, just in general. And Kanye produced like a lot of the beats on that. I think he produced some other singles for him as well. I'm not too familiar with his discography with Jay Z, but like I don't think that's really important as much as understanding that he has a relationship with Jay Z, and this is like where he like started like proper again, like big, catching a lot of attention. Um, so like Izzo, I'm not gonna do it. I'm assuming you don't fucking know that song. It's a catchy song. It's like an iconic '90s rap. He said he made the beat for that shit. This is a quote from like one of Kanye's songs where he talks about because he was Mr. H to the Izzo, because like that was like a big thing that he did, and that's what he was famous for. And then Heart of the City, absolute tune, absolute fucking banger, and he did that. So yeah, he played that one beat for him. Last Call. That's a very good song. Even if you like don't like go into the research yourself, if you just listen to that one song, it's the last song on his first album. First 3 minutes is him just flexing how much he can rap. The last like 8 minutes, like he's not rapping. Oh, you fucking bitch! Turn off your phone. Put that shit on silent.
Sorry.
Are you ready? Nah.
Wait. I have to make sure my elderly grandparents are okay. Thanks. No one gives a shit about Kanye West.
Everyone gives a shit about Kanye West. That's the point of this lecture. It's whether or not you like him, you do give a shit about him somewhere in the back of your mind.
Okay, continue. Sorry, can you repeat? Because I got distracted by...
Okay, so Last Call.
Yeah.
First, like, 3 minutes of that song is, like, him, like, rapping, flexing how great he is. The last, like, 8 minutes is just him talking about how much he got completely, like, bum-raped by every single producer, every higher executive, being like, fuck you, Kanye, you're a producer, you're not a rapper, shut the fuck up, okay? But like here, just a line where he's been mentioned, "Oh, Heart of the City." I made that song. Hey, heyo. So, Kanye versus people. Once again, Last Call. Ain't nobody expected Kanye to end up at top. They expected that cause dropout to drop and then flop. Then maybe he stopped saving all the good beats for himself, right? Once again, this whole like he was a producer. He was a phenomenal producer. But he wanted to be a rapper, and they were like, well, if your raps are shit, it's just like a waste to give these great beats to somebody who can't rap. And that was their mindset towards it, as they call business perspective. That's also from Last Call, but like that one was the rap, obviously, by the Grime. This is just him talking, like, they still were looking at me like a rapper. So like, well, if we just put like a load of features from like good rappers on, like it'll be fine, even if Kanye's a shit rapper. Which he's not. That's probably one of his best ones in terms of rap shit. So then I'm not gonna name no names, but people told me, oh, he's just a producer rapper, and told 3H they told the heads of yeah. So he's just like, oh, I'm a producer rapper, and that like kind of gave him a bad rep. People didn't like him at all. So like he was gonna have this major deal. If I remember correctly, I think he just like pissed off one of the people by saying like, "Oh, I'm better than this guy. I'm better than that guy. Better than this guy." Like one of the higher up executives. And like I think one of the guys who he said he was better than was like that executive's like son or like best friend or something like really important to him. And he was like, "Oh, fuck you, Kanye." So then he got a deal with Rockefeller, and that's a big record label. He changes at some point. I forgot to mention this lecture because it's fuck my life. Oh God. Whoops. Through the Wire. That is his first single. Okay, so the way he recorded that single was... That's Kanye West.
Oh.
He was working so fucking hard on his album and trying to make everything perfect because he finally got that breakthrough. That, like, On his way home from work one night, he fell asleep at the wheel, got in a massive car crash. Like, you see how fucking swollen his mouth is. His jaw was like literally like wired shut in order to stop him from like dying. He raps his first single with his mouth in that condition. You can actually find, if you Google it, I found like a clip on Reddit of him like in a really like early interview where like he's freestyle rapping on a radio show and his tooth falls out while he's rapping and he continues to go. He continues to rap with a tooth fell out of him. He was like, he's a fucking this man was a psychopath from the start. It wasn't like a recent development, okay? He was always crazy. Quote from Kanye: "Name one genius that ain't crazy." Okay, that's him. Okay.
Very true.
This song fucking great. Look at this. How you console my mom or give her like 10 good lungs on life support. Like, oh my god. I almost got an angel because look at how death missed his ass. You know, religious thing. Religion very important to Kanye, especially now. Especially now. I don't know if you're aware. I think you are a little bit.
Did he make a gospel album?
He did make a gospel album. That's like about 20 years from now. Or like 15.
But like, didn't he say in a song that he was literally God, and in like 20 years he's like, oh, I was wrong about that.
I'll get to that later. I'll get to that later. He did have a song called "I Am a God," which did feature God. If you look at the credits for it, it's not important. But this sounds great, and it really shows a lot about Kanye as a person and his whole fucking drive. And so I turned tragedy to triumph, make music that's fire, spit my soul through the wire. So, fucking great guy, asshole, great ambition, great work rate, real helps him to become a big successful boy. The college dropout. That guy is called Dropout Bear. He's a real sad boy. Yeah, I think he said like the reason he chose like that for the front cover of the album was because like the whole point of it is like criticizing college and the education system and how we put so much faith in it and how it just kind of fails, and he figured there'd be no better way to represent that than like the school mascot, but he looks fucking super depressed instead of being like super happy and cheerful, which is like it's pretty clever. So we're at about 2004 at this point. Okay. That's his first album came out. What in the fuck was that, Kanye? Like, because remember, yeah, there's like early 2000s rap, so the whole like I think 50 Cent was like the biggest thing at the time, and he was all like, I'm into having sex, I into making love. It's all about fucking and being like a drug dealer or whatever, and like talking about your struggle and how fucking difficult your life was, and how police hates you and how everyone hates you. And Kanye did kind of talk about that, but it was really about like just broader political issues that could apply to everyone. Wasn't supposed to make it past 25. Joke's on you, we still alive. Famous line. It's referenced quite a lot in hip hop, not only by Kanye but by other artists. So yeah, just talking about like the death rate for like black people and shit in America. Another thing that'd be kind of common for other rappers, but like Kanye was like very fucking blunt. There's like the opening song to his album, by the way, where he's talking about black people dying. Man, I promise, she's so self-conscious. She has no idea what she's doing in college. The major that she majored in don't make no money, but she won't drop out. Her parents will look at her funny. That's the whole fucking college thing, where it's like, you're only doing this degree to get that job because your parents told you to, but you really have no fucking idea why you're in college. You're just doing it because that's what you're supposed to do. And even if you hate it there, and even if it's a waste of time, you're just going to keep doing it. That is a fucking criticism that Kanye was making fun of. There are some hilarious skits, like actually funny skits on like a rap album, which like never happens ever. But like making fun of college, it's great. So he did still have problems. He still did have to like pander to the audience. It was like, always said I'd be rapping about something significant, but now I'm rapping about money, hoes, and rims again. He's a sad boy because he has to like. He's like blatantly saying like, I don't give a shit about this, but I have to, or this album won't sell. And that was a real struggle with Kanye at the time. There's the thing I said about Jesus Walks. He played Jesus Walks to producers. It's like phenomenal. It's still one of Kanye's most beloved songs he's ever made. It's not really as commercially successful as like say Goldie or Stronger or Power, but like it's deeply beloved by any fan of Kanye or just rap music in general who's heard this album. It's like, it's just a great tune.
And he played them this like phenomenal song, and they were like, but it's about Jesus though, so it's shit.
We
So
don't roll with that
fuck
shit.
you. No one cares. So he was a college dropout. That's him. That's not a most unlikely to succeed. That's not a real thing. That's like if you have like the college dropout CD. It's like, you know, when you take out the cover and stuff like that. Yeah, there's a picture there. It's a funny joke thingy. He hated school. It's called the college dropout. You can probably tell he hated school. Told him I finished school and I started my own business. They said, "Oh, you graduated." No, I decided I was finished. Right. Once again, the whole thing where he was like, "Well, like literally, why am I in school if I'm already like being successful? Like, there's no point." He just like, "Fuck that." And this is one of those great skits. This is just you keep it going, man. You keep those books rolling. You pick up those books you're gonna read and not remember, and you roll, man. You get the associate's degree, okay? Then you get your bachelor's, then you get your master's, then you get your master's, then you get your doctorate. You go, man. And then when everyone says quit, you show them those degrees, man. When everyone says, "Hey, you're not working, you're not making any money," you say, "Yeah." You look at my degrees and you look at my life. Yeah, I'm 52.
Oh, that's so true.
Yeah. It's true. It's actually funny. Kanye, smart guy, very politically aware, very ahead of his time. Even if sonically he wasn't, thematically and what he was talking about definitely was. It's still not really an issue that gets talked about that much today, even though like it's only gotten kind of worse.
Oh, every college student knows that's the truth.
Yeah, like, and even like when I was in like secondary school, in like 5th or 6th or whatever, there was like some fucking bitch who came in, like careers guide, and she was like, "Yeah, we're actually like incorporating the leaving cert, so it cuts out stuff, so that stuff then gets shoved onto college. It's like, you know, your secondary degree is worth less, and like just to make college even more like, over here you have to do it or fuck you." You know, it's just, it's a disaster. It's no bueno. It's no good. This is Kanye's ego. You can't not mention it. You can't. Last year shot my demo, I was trying to shine. Every motherfucker told me I couldn't rhyme. And I could let these dream killers kill my self-esteem, or use my arrogance as a steam to power my dreams. I use it as my gas, so they say that I'm gas, but without it I'd be last, so I ought to laugh. So he's like, okay, either I could listen to the people telling me to fuck off and just like, whatever, who cares, it's the worst, I'm shit. Or I could be like, fuck you, actually I'm the best, I'm going to keep trying, I'm going to keep doing it, I'm going to keep persevering. I think that's a lot of the reason why Kanye is still so egotistical. Because from the very start, people were telling him, "Oh, you're shit," but like he proved them wrong, and he's become like one of the most successful people, one of the most biggest names out there. So clearly, the idea of listening to other people like is, why would you do that?
Yeah.
You know, you're so successful without them. Oh, his 47th Grammy, his best rap album acceptance speech for this album. I know. Everyone asked me that question. They would want to know what Kanye's getting well louder. He's gonna do something crazy. Everybody wants to know what I would do if I didn't win. I guess we'll never know.
Oh.
But badass acceptance speech. But it's great. Kanye, I think, is like my favorite like celebrity personality because like he's not a real person. He's a celebrity. He's just he doesn't give a fuck. He just says cool shit like this. He's like, fuck it, I don't care. And other stuff, he's like, "Oh shit, please like me." He's like, "I don't care. I'll just do what I want. I'll be badass as fuck." He can rap sometimes. Did you know that? He's a rapper. He can do that. He has some great lines. Couldn't afford a car, so she named her daughter Alexis.
Oh.
She got a light-skinned friend look like Michael Jackson. Got a dark-skinned friend look like Michael Jackson. Killing y'all nig. Whoa.
Don't say that.
No, not on camera. Especially in the current climate.
Just don't say it at all.
Killing y'all Negroes. Is that acceptable?
I don't think so.
Killing y'all N-words on that lyrical shit. Mayonnaise coloured Benz, I push miracle whips. That's a clever line. Not all of his raps are the highest Okay, let's move on. Grammys. So.
no.
No.
No, you have to say it. You have to say it. Go back.
I always had a PhD. A pretty huge dick. Okay.
Ew.
Yes. So Kanye West, 21 Grammys, 69 nominations. Giggity 69. Okay. This is for. I'm gonna just bring these up constantly because I think that like an important milestone. Even the better ones, like this happened. He wins. First year as a rapper, he wins 3 Grammys for best rap song, best rap album, not best new artist, just best rap album in general. His first album, a load of nominations. It's fucking great. He's a good boy. Cool. First controversy.
Oh, first one.
Okay, so this was a week before Late Registration, his second album. He goes on a charity telethon for Hurricane Katrina, trying to bring money up to like help like the fucking aftermath of that shit. He says this: I hate the way they portray us in the media. If you see a black family, it says they're looting. You see a white family, it says they're looking for food. And you know that's it. And you know that it's been 5 days because most of the people are black. And even for me to complain about it, I would be a hypocrite. Because I've tried to run away from the TV because it's too hard to watch. I've even been shopping before, even giving a donation. So now I'm calling my business manager right now to see what's what. It's the biggest amount I can give. And just to imagine if I was down there, and those are my people down there. So anybody out there that wants to do anything, that we can help with the setup, the way America is set up, to help the poor, the black people, the less well off, as slow as possible. I mean, this is Red Cross is doing everything they can. We already realize a lot of people that could help are at war right now, fighting another way. I keep in mind like early 2000s, you know, and they've given them permission to go down and shoot us.
Do you know what's ironic? It's exactly the same thing that he's like literally complaining about what's going on now in the news in America.
Yeah, because America fucking hasn't changed at all.
Yeah, we all know that.
Because they're a shit show.
They're a shit show.
Also, okay, it's funny as well to imagine that Mike Myers was standing next to him, and just in research for like this exact quote, I believe he said just before, and I'm just gonna like ad lib something. I'm just gonna do my own thing for a little bit. Do you mind? Okay, fine, like whatever. He didn't think this would happen. Nobody thought what would happen next.
Oh no.
George Bush was the president at the time.
Yeah. Wait, junior or senior?
I think it was junior.
Okay.
That was what he said. George Bush doesn't care about black people. On TV. On a national charity telethon.
His face! Oh, no, he's like, what did you
Because
just
what
say?
do you do in that scenario? So people fucking hate it. But, so a week later, his second album drops. Late Registration. 2005, August 30th. It's a great album, a lot of people's favourite. So they asked me, why you call it Late Registration, yay? Because we've taken these motherfuckers back to school. Because once again, very politically focused on just issues that like don't get talked about a lot. Before you ask me to get a job today, can I at least get a raise in the minimum wage? Yeah. I'm not going to say this one out loud for obvious reasons.
Why you just say, like, N-word?
Well, that's that crack music N-word. That real black music N-word. Because, like, early 2000s, the whole crack thing in America, big issue. And everyone was like, oh, that's just for black people and shit. So he's, like, making a whole song about that. Ooh. Big oof. Good morning. This ain't Vietnam still. People lose hands, legs, arms for real. Little was known of Sierra Leone and how it connects to the diamonds we own. Yeah. He's talking about how all rappers like, oh, diamonds are so cool and shit. But he's like, yeah, well, people fucking like lose limbs and shit. Like it's like just as bad as the drug trade. It's just diamonds are pretty, so like people don't think that.
Yeah.
Rappers were talking about how cool diamonds were. They weren't talking about like the fucking people who died in order to get the diamonds. This is crazy person. Crazy. Hey, mama. Emotional high point of the album. Probably of Kanye's career. That's Donda West. That's his mom. the college professor who supported him even though he dropped out. As a chorus. Hey mama, I want to scream so loud for you, 'cause I'm so proud of you. Let me tell you what I'm about to do, mama. I know I act a fool, but yeah, so it's just a sappy gay shit, but like, he's a rapper.
Talking about
He's a
sappy
rapper
shit,
talking
not
about
drugs.
he's talking about how much he loves his mom. That's not what rappers are supposed to be. That's not marketable at all. Once again, there's a whole. My mama told me to go to school, get your doctorate, something to fall back on. You could profit a bit, but still supported me when I did the opposite.
Aww.
Yeah, it's a real sweet song. It's real like oh. Like he loves his mom so much. She's like his favorite person in the world right now. Okay, just thought you should.
Wait, isn't she dead?
She is. More on that later. Okay, just thought.
Yeah.
Not what a rapper should do.
Okay.
Rappers should not make songs about how much they love their moms. Load of Grammys, Gold Digger, obviously. Dying for Your it was actually successful. What do you know? Late Registration won Best Rap Album for his first 2 albums that he ever made. Crazy successful. Everyone loves him. Despite the fact that he said George Bush doesn't care about black people, I think a lot of it though has to do with the fact that like not many people like George Bush.
Yeah,
You know,
he was not popular.
he was seen in the media kind of like how Trump is seen today, except like nowhere near as extreme. From what I understand, this is 2005. I was like 4 years old at the time. I don't have a very good understanding. Just in hindsight from my parents and shit, that's what I understand roughly. Touring with U2 now. U2 invited him to come on as like the supporting artist to like come on and get the crowd warmed up and shit. And while he was touring with them, he realized that like his music is like actually shit for live shows. Like for like the club bangers and shit, like there's just nothing there. I see his U2 and the way their music like resonates with the audience, how much they all love that shit, and he's like, oh shit, I need to step up my game. I need to make an album for stadiums and shit. So that happens. Very important information for the next album. And this is a fucking pivotal moment, not just for Kanye, but for hip hop in general. There's like this fake like sales battle that like people were like publicizing between Kanye West, this whole new rapper talking about his mom and shit, and 50 Cent.
Okay.
And I think 50 Cent said, I'm not sure if it was like a deal they made or a bet or whatever, but I know 50 Cent said like, if your album sells more than me, I'm going to not make another album ever. I'm going to stop being an artist. The competition ended. It was a fucking blowout. Like, shit. Where are the fucking sales on that thing? Yeah, first week sales, 50 Cent, 691,000. Kanye, 957,000. Almost 1 million. Like 300,000 more. Fucking blows that shit out of the water. This is when hip hop was like, okay, so he just destroyed like the biggest name in hip hop currently.
Yeah.
Who's doing the whole like drugs and shit in the struggle. I also haven't heard a single 50 Cent song from start to finish, so I don't know if that's what his music's about mostly. I'm just saying that it's the general gist of hip hop at the time. So he just blew him out of the park. Like, just, like, not even close. It's like, hip hop's like, okay, so why are we still doing this? Why don't we just, like, do what Kanye's doing and talk about, like, real shit that, like, people actually care about outside of the black community? Because, like, that's only 1/10 of America. That's not the whole world.
Mm-hmm.
So, big change for hip hop because of this. Graduation comes out. Okay, great album. As in not. Okay, I'll get to it later. I'll get to it a bit later. Dropout Bear. Remember that guy?
Yeah.
He's got this whole like little character arc over the albums. Look at him there. He's all slap on Late Registration. He's like walking through the doors like, ooh, what's coming up? And Graduation, he's fucking blowing through the stratosphere. He's flying around like, hell yeah, I'm the greatest. Because that's what Graduation's about. He's like, yeah, I'm so fucking good. It's one of the biggest albums ever. Now, I went on Spotify to get some like statistics just because it's kind of hard to judge by like a track by track basis how strong this is. So I want to keep in mind that these are the numbers for like a rap album released like in 2007.
Okay.
It's like a decade, well not like 7 years before like Spotify's like really relevant. At that point, everyone had like already heard a lot of the songs when they were singles at the time. A lot of people have already owned the album, so there's no point going to Spotify. And these
Yeah.
are the numbers that it still managed to get.
Good lord.
Yeah. It's fucking insane. Drunken Hot Girls, no one likes that song. That song is terrible. If you know, like, these are all, like, getting, like, the weakest is, like, 70 million, and then Barry Bonds drops to 20. It drops, like, 50 million, because the song sucks. Drunken Hot Girls drops even more. It's even worse. It's, like, even Kanye stans are like, this song is trash, Kanye. What the fuck were you doing? What were you thinking? Also, Good Night is the weakest there by far. That's because I think technically it was like a bonus track. So it Spotify, like, you can only get it as like a single. It's not part of the graduation album, which is why it's like another like 20 million drop. It'd probably be much higher. So yeah, there you go. Sound good. Yeah. The album went double platinum. Fuck, it's big, especially Stronger. Look at those numbers and Stronger. Look at the numbers and Stronger. I'm not gonna say that one out loud. Point being, Nippon's Japan. Japan was big influence for this boy, Takashi Murakami. Probably noticed that name's it's not very white or black. It's of a different orientation. Akira, iconic anime film, inspired the music video for Stronger, his biggest single. These are some quotes from Kanye from tweets. I will be going to his Twitter on occasion when they're relevant, because he uses Twitter a lot, usually to be crazy. So.
Is this the real reason why you love Kanye West? Because he seems to, like, you know.
No, his opinion is very basic. His anime, it's anime.
Oh.
Like, no way, Spirit is way. Sorry, just look at a YouTube video of the top 10 anime films. I just love that image of Kanye just like on his phone at like 3 a.m. just watching a YouTube video. Not watching anime, watching a YouTube video recommending anime.
Isn't that literally what you do?
Shut the fuck up, bitch. Yeah. Equally my 2 favorite movies of all time, Akira and There Will Be Blood. He likes his weep shit. Also, this is a weird collaboration that happened. Like, this is a J-rap song, so it's like a Japanese rap. They're all rapping in Japanese, but then Kanye comes on and raps in English for like the last verse.
Okay.
It's a real. You can find it on YouTube. That's the only reason I found this on YouTube. Just because he was in Japan at the time, so he just did this.
Why not?
Like, yeah, it was. I don't know why he did it. It's pretty great though, to be honest. Stronger. I think kind of have to talk about Stronger.
Mm-hmm.
Interestingly though, the Daft Punk song, like they were touring on a bus. Like one of the producers, like Daft Punk came on and kind of like, oh, I kind of like that. Who is that? And they're like, you don't know who Daft Punk is? Like Kanye West, who like knows everything about music because he like fucking samples shit all the time. Like that was like where he got like his start, like his music style was like taking old tracks and like speeding them up or slowing them down and putting a beat over them, and like he really like reintegrated sampling into hip hop culture. He's like a huge proponent of that, and his vocal tracks and shit. So harder, better, faster, stronger. It's already like kind of, yeah, it works with Kanye's pre-established style. Big Brother. Jay-Z. His big brother.
Okay, Jay-Z.
He likes Jay-Z enough that the last like technical song, like Good Night's like a bonus track finale, and I think it works better as a closer. But the last actual song on the album was a song about how much he loves Jay-Z and how much he's so grateful for him for his chances. Keep that in mind.
Oh no.
Keep that in mind.
Oh,
Yeah. Gay graduate. Okay, I don't even remember what I put on the slide. Oh yeah, so I'm gonna be like compiling like a list of like some of the worst like lines in every album. I didn't do any for late registration because I couldn't really find any like a lot of it's like not great, but like it's still good. College Dropout had PhD, a pretty huge dick. And she got the goods and she got that ass. I got to look. Sorry. That's how the fuck you sound, you drunk cat hot girl. He literally just mumbles like nothing because like that's what drunk girls do. That's why no one likes this song. That's why it's like the worst song Kanye's ever made ever. Okay. real bad. Won a load of Grammys. He didn't get Album of the Year though. I forget who it lost out to. He did get Best Rap Album though for Graduate. Okay. Great album. Everyone loves it. Really beloved. Kid Cudi. You know him. He has the Intergalactic song.
Yeah.
Kid Cudi's relevant to Kanye now. Technically, I think they met before when Cudi was like a teenager. He was like, Kanye just happened to go into like a record store where he was in. It was like, oh, Kanye, please sign me. I'm so good. And Kanye was like, well, I mean, do you have anything to show me? He was like, no, but I love you so much. You're such a good artist.
Please.
He was like, please. So that didn't happen, obviously. But then, like 5 years later, he dropped a Kid Named Cudi, which is like his mixtape. It's like a really influential mixtape, furthering like the whole like talking about social issues. But this was like way more like introspective and like mental health and that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
And he's just talking about like being like an outsider, being alone, or having nobody like him, being like bullied in high school and shit. Man on the Moon, another great album. So Kanye, he sees this guy, he sees he's real talented, he sees he's talking about shit no one's talking about before, and he was like, hey, I like you. Let's bring you on for my next album. Good Ass Job. Unfortunately, Good Ass Job never happened, for two major reasons. He broke up with his fiancée of like 2 years at this point.
Who? Kanye?
Kanye broke up with his
Okay.
fiancée. She doesn't matter, she's just a bimbo. She's probably important at the time, but like in hindsight, with all the shit Kanye's got going on, she's not, you don't need to know her name. As in, I wasn't asked to put her name on the slide. His mom died.
Oh, no.
No. You think that's sad. The way she died was in a failed plastic surgery that Kanye paid for.
Oh,
Yeah.
no.
Yes.
Really?
Yes, that actually happened.
What? Seriously?
So Kanye's favorite person ever died, and he blames himself and thinks it's all his fault for paying for it.
And you thought he was probably doing something nice for her.
He thought he was doing something nice for her. He fucking killed her by accident. It's
Ah,
not
he
his fault.
didn't.
It's
He
not his
didn't.
fault at all. Kanye's probably not watching this. If he is, it's not your fault. Goodwill Hunting, or whatever. Is that the quote?
Oh, that's a great. Wait, what kind of plastic surgery was it?
I don't care.
What?
I don't care about
What? This is what's so interesting that you talked about.
Yeah, the most interesting thing is that like Kanye's mom died of plastic surgery and he paid for it. Like, does it really matter? Like, oh, if she got like her tits big or whatever, does that really matter? It's not-
Yeah, it does.
No, it doesn't. She got plastic surgery. It went wrong. She died. Fuck you, bitch.
I'm curious now.
Google it afterwards. Google it afterwards. This is like an overview. If you want the details, fucking Google that shit. So yeah, he won some more Grammys or whatever, but he's real sad. On stage, he just like stronger because it's a big thing, but then afterwards he comes out and sings "Hey Mama" for his mom because she just died.
Oh.
He sings the song, yeah.
Oh, don't make me feel bad for Kanye West.
No, feel bad for him. He's a sad boy. Which is why he released 808s and Heartbreak, a sad boy album.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Oh, what
So-
a poor year. His fiance was like, fuck you, and then his mom
Yeah,
died.
exactly. So like having an album called Good Ass Job about how great your life is going, it didn't really fit him now, did he?
Yeah.
So 808s and Heartbreak. It uses auto-tune a lot. Keep in mind this was like 2008, so like people like auto-tunes just for like Justin Bieber, like the people who can't sing and they use it to pretend they can sing.
Yeah.
It's not like viewed as like the instrument that it basically is now. And Kanye was like trying to change it. But on top of that, because it was like so sonically different to his previous albums, like a load of people were just like, fuck off, Kanye. Fuck off. In hindsight, it's become like one of the most influential albums like of all time in terms of hip hop and shit. Michael Jackson told me I could sing. Fuck all y'all, because he sings in this album, and that was a big inspiration. He was like, Michael Jackson. I think it was A Good Life or whatever. There's like a vocal sample or whatever, and he was like, "Oh, who's singing that?" And Kanye was like, "Oh, it's me." I was like, "Oh, it's pretty good." He's like, he's like,
Michael Jackson.
Michael Jackson told me I could sing. Hell yeah. Yeah, and Justin Bieber, the whole fucking autotune's gay and shit.
Your hands in the way, I can't see.
Oh yeah. So this is just like a thing. Basically, once Kanye got like over 40 like hits, like #1 hits, I think, or whatever, that like overtook Michael Jackson. People were like, oh fuck you, Kanye, you're a piece of shit. Fuck you, N-word or whatever. That's Paris Jackson. You know Jackson?
Yeah.
Like Michael Jackson?
Yeah.
That's his daughter.
Okay.
Who's like 808s and Heartbreak is like one of Michael Jackson's favorite albums ever. Right?
Yeah.
So like people in the music industry who like actually know their shit, like this album is fucking phenomenal. But like the public are like, this shit is gay. Like, who cares? Autotune is for pussies. Like, so he's rich and sad. There are a lot of lyrics about how
Rich and
he's rich and sad. Dad cracked a joke, all the kids laughed, but I couldn't hear him all the way in first class. Chased a good life my whole life long. Look back at my life and my life gone. Where did I go wrong?
Oh wow! See?
He's rich and he's sad.
Yeah.
Because you know he's in first class, he doesn't have the fucking communal shit. He doesn't have his mom with him anymore. So like how, you know? I'm just not there. Life's just not fair. Streetlights.
Oh, don't make me feel sorry
One of
for
the most
Kanye.
emotional songs on the album. It's when people think 808s and Heartbreak, they think this song. It's not the most famous, it's not the most popular, but it's the most quintessentially this album song on the album. Do you really have the stamina for everybody that sees you that say, "Where's my camera?" For everybody that sees you to say, "Sign my autograph." For everybody that sees you crying that say, "You oughta laugh." You oughta laugh.
Oof. Oof.
I just want to be a real boy. It's Pinocchio's story, so I just want to be a real Pinocchio.
Well, I feel sorry for him, but I don't like people get famous. This is what you kind of ask for.
Yeah, but he's like, my mom died, and people are like, hey, can you like take pictures? Like, there's like a difference, like roses on like late registration. Like he's like in the hospital, and he's like, so can you tell me about the operation? And the nurse is like, can you like sign my T-shirt?
Oh my god.
And he's like, bitch, are you smoking reefer? Is like the next slide. Like what the fuck are you doing? Time and a place. So like.
Yeah. Okay, I get what you mean.
So like, because people don't. Celebrities aren't people in the eyes of the public. Celebrities are celebrities. They're larger than life. They don't have real people. They don't have real issues. That's the thesis statement of this lecture. Because celebrities are people. They have their own issues. You can't just like hear a headline in the paper, hear somebody say it to you and be like, oh, therefore Kanye is like racist or whatever. You have to like understand like there was consequences, there was build up to these decisions and these actions. They don't just happen out of nowhere. He's not all of a sudden, oh, fuck black people, I'm going to support Trump. There's like a logical explanation for why he has that belief. I'm really passionate about this, if you can't tell.
Stop looking at me so saucily.
Okay,
I'm
okay.
sorry I asked.
Okay. Amazing is literally the only song off that album that even got like anywhere close to a Grammy. No one cares about this album, but it's pretty popular, but like it's not nearly as critically beloved because it was so different and people had these expectations and they hear this autotune like, that's gay. He did also like on like a kid wore like this suit and he had like this heart, but it was made of Lego that like he like attached onto his suit like a pin. It was like real big. That was a weird thing he did at the time. I don't have pictures of it because I just thought of it now. Do I really have to explain this to you? Okay, I did. So, in the 2009 VMAs, I think that was the year. Beyonce, All the Single Ladies, up for Best Music Video. Taylor Swift won. Literally, don't even remember her music video. Literally, no one even cares. So Kanye goes up and he's like, Taylor Swift, your video fucking sucks. Beyonce had one of the best music videos of all time. He took the microphone from her right when she was like giving her acceptance speech just to say this. So like everyone's like, Kanye, shut the fuck up, you jackass.
Yeah.
You can't just do that. He's a jackass. You wanna know who said this? President Barack Obama said Kanye's a jackass. The camera was recording, but like I don't think he thought it was on or whatever because it wasn't like technically like, well, but you can find footage of this of Obama while in office saying Kanye was a jackass for doing that and making fun of him.
Well, he was though.
Like
I don't think he meant it to be rude.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm just gonna go back. So afterwards, he explained in hindsight that it was like it wasn't the whole Taylor Swift thing. It was the fact that constantly these awards, like getting all these artists and pretending that like they're like making a mockery of it and just giving it for like political reasons. Like, oh, Taylor Swift, she's new, let's give it to her, despite Beyonce like anyone with a pair of eyes can objectively see Beyonce is the better video.
Yeah.
It's more like an outcry against this whole injustice that happens at award shows constantly. He had like no personal beef against Taylor Swift. I don't think he really knew her at all. But he was just like, how the fuck could this possibly happen that Beyonce doesn't win? It just isn't unfair.
But he just didn't think and said...
He didn't think of like the emotional reasons of like, she's a human being. She's gonna be like, she's finally had like a breakthrough. It's like a great like uplifting moment for her, and you're just like fucking that over for like your like worldview, which like I agree with the worldview, just like his method of like delivering it.
It wasn't the
It
smart...
wasn't smart.
It wasn't the time.
No,
If
it
you
wasn't the
left it-
time or place, and that's really a theory I have about Kanye. Is like he has like these shower thoughts, which like he'll develop over and over in the head every time he has a shower, like a very quiet moment alone. And he'll like just sort of slowly work out all the details, and he'll develop it from start to finish, and then he'll act on the finishing point without explaining how he got to the finishing point. So people just see the crazy thing he did without like understanding why he thought it was an acceptable thing to do, and he just is constantly.
He doesn't explain himself
He
properly.
doesn't explain himself properly at all.
He
So
should.
like when Kanye does explain himself, there's always like it's always in hindsight because he fucked up, but he has to explain himself, and it's you always look at it and you're like, okay, I get where you're coming from. I get where you're coming from, but like, no,
It's
no,
not good
no,
until
no,
after the
no.
awards and kind of said it to a media person
Yeah,
outside.
yeah,
That
no, Kanye, that's the. So this is his apology. It was just rude. It was rude, period, and I'd like to apologize to her in person.
well, at least he knows he was a jackass.
Does he though? So this is an interviewer. He asked him this
No.
question. Let me ask something. I was fortunate enough to meet your mom and talk with your mom a number of years ago. What do you think she would have said about this?
Oh.
Kanye, speechless. He's fucking panicking. You can see sweat. He's like rubbing like sweat from his eye. He's like, fuck. He's like, fuck. Because like, his mom had only died like a year earlier. And like, he was still blaming himself for this. It was still like all his fault in his eyes.
Yeah.
So here this, he's like, oh fuck. Self-imposed exile was his solution to the problem. So he goes to Avex Recording Studio in Honolulu, Hawaii.
Okay.
Because he's it's exile, but like he's still got money, so like it's not like that bad. He can go to fucking Hawaii for his exile. Like,
Exile.
he makes a new album. Didn't want any stuff. No tweeting, no talking, no emailing. That was the policy. Chris Rock, famous comedian, he was helping with this album. He has this weird skit. He said he sets up a mood that when you walked in there, you felt this mood. You talk about how like people like for this rap album would like dress up like in suits or whatnot. And there was talk. I forget if I have the quote here exactly, but I think like people were like he'd like start off the day and like work out, and then like he'd like do like spend like a day with some kids, like do some charity work. So it's like okay, he's got like his energy, he's like worked out or whatever, he's done a good deed for the day, and then he spends like the next 12 hours non-stop working on this album. The work rate for this was insane. So, Q-Tip, he helped as well. I don't really know who this person is. So he'll go, check this out, tell me what you think. Which
Wait.
speaks
I have a question.
Yeah.
Isn't a Q-Chips the thing you use to clean your ears?
Yeah,
That's not really a great
I know.
rap name.
I
is
know.
it? It's not like...
I think he's a producer, I don't think he's a rapper.
Okay.
Producers are kind of getting more famous now, but at the time no one cared, so I don't care. Q-Tip goes, he'll go, check this out, tell me what you think, which speaks volumes about who he is and how he sees and views people. Every person has a voice and an idea, so he's sincerely looking to hear what you have to say, good, bad, or whatever. When he has his beats or his rhymes, he offers them to committee, and we're all invited to dissect, strip, or add to what he's already started. By the end of the sessions, you see how he integrates and transforms everyone's contributions so the whole is greater than the sum of its parts. He's a real wizard about it. What he does is alchemy, really. So like Kanye at the start was like basically doing everything, like he was producing and shit for everyone else. But at this point, like he'd gotten so many like collaborators to like help him write shit and help him produce shit. He's like a lot of talent, and like he listens to everyone because he understands like if you're in this room, you're in this room for a reason.
Yeah.
Like I can disagree with your idea, but I want to hear your idea first, so I have the option to disagree with it. And he was like very like good at like helping people like be the best of themselves.
So he was fair.
He was fair. He's not an asshole. Like he's a jackass, but he's not an asshole. Like, he thinks everyone has the right to opinion, but then he'll go on TV and say, Taylor Swift, the opinion that said you get this reward was wrong.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
He's not the smartest with his ideas, is he, sometimes?
No. Good Fridays. This was how we promoted this album. It was a weekly free music release. So you just release a new song for free. These are all the songs released from August to December of 2010. The ones in italics are like, they weren't, like, he didn't rap them. I think he probably produced them. It makes sense, because why else would he be, whatever. The ones in bold eventually made it onto the album. So Power, that's a remix of it. There's Monster, which did eventually actually get taken off to become an official single, because these were all free. Devil in a New Dress and So Appalled. Four of these Good Friday songs made it on the album in some form or another, usually like with like an extra verse on it or something new, some new twist to it. Not all of them though. The album, not an apology. This is a picture of the VMAs the next year. So the same award show ceremony where like he did the thing to Taylor Swift and he is doing a performance and he performs the song Runaway. This is the chorus to Runaway. Let's have a toast for the douchebags. Let's have a toast for the assholes. Let's have a toast for the scumbags, every one of them that I know. Let's have a toast for the jerk-offs that'll never take work off. Baby, I got a plan. Run away fast as you can. So basically, this album's like, okay, I was a cunt. There's no getting over that. I was a jackass. But you have to admit I'm pretty good though. that's the which is the most Kanye West way of apologizing ever. It's not an apology album. It's not an apology at all. But like, everyone fucking despised him before this because of what happened last year, because he was such a cunt. Everyone talked about it. Everyone was like, Kanye, fuck off. After he performs this song, it's not even the full song. This full song's like 10 minutes long. It's like this 3-minute vocoder solo at the end where like pretends his voice is a guitar. This one's only like 5 minutes long. By the end of it, everyone's fucking chanting his name. Like, yes, this is like the greatest thing ever. Because this is really like, Kanye's an asshole, but he's so good that people are like, I can't stop listening to your music though. Ugh. Feel free to disagree. I know you do.
He is talented. It's just,
he's talented.
He just wouldn't be the music I'd listen to every day.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean that I don't like some of his songs.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
That's why he's so talented, is because he does have songs that everyone
Yeah.
likes.
Especially this album. Like this, the sonic landscape of this album is like insane. Like if you compare like Runaway to Power, like Runaway is like this piano solo thing. Power is like this epic chant. You know, all of the lights is a different epic, except when Power is like this like chant thing, like the hey hey. All the lights is like trumpets and shit. It's still epic, still undeniable, but it sounds so different. It's a different kind of epic. And then Monsters brings that shit all the way down to real fucking deep bassy shit. It's got choirs. It's everything. So like, yeah, it's great. Runaway again. This is actually a 35-minute short film he did for the song. 10 minutes of it is the music video for the song Runaway. Question? Yes?
It's not a question, so I'll leave it to the end.
Yeah. Well, you stopped everything, so you have to fucking do it now.
No. Anyway, continue on.
Are you going to bring up that BTS if it also a short film?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I fucking know. But Kanye actually directed this.
Okay.
The unfortunate thing is, though, that he also starred in it, and he's really bad at delivering lines of dialogue.
Oh, okay. Well, you can't be good at everything.
Yeah, he thinks he is, though. But I say that as, like, that's an obvious criticism of it, but it's really more of, like, a music video for, like, the whole album, condensed to, like, half an hour. So, like, Runaway's the only one that's really the full length. Everything else with, like, say, a verse or two, or maybe just the chorus. It's more like a musical, more like Les Mis, with, like, say, 2 or 3 lines of dialogue.
Yeah.
So even though Kanye is really fucking terrible at, like, delivering dialogue, you barely have to listen to it throughout this whole thing. And he's good at, like, acting for music videos, because like at this point he's had 4 albums, they're all really successful, music videos for all of them. He knows his shit. He knows how to act for them. The color in this as well, by the way, is phenomenal. Like, even if you don't like the songs, if you just like muted it and you just looked at it and just pay attention to the colors being presented, it's pretty epic. Okay. What? Is it BTS with good colors in their music? Yeah. Okay. Fuck off, cunt. The album is called My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy.
Oh, is this the one where he the thing with the censorship?
Yeah. That's the original cover. If you go on like Spotify, whatever, it's gonna be like really like pixelated and shit because like, oh well, he's having sex in the cover. You can't like show that in shops and shit. But the way he defends is like, dude, I just thought it was like a really cool picture. I just saw like the colors and shit were cool. It's like, oh, it's a phoenix, but it's like an angel, but it doesn't have arms and shit. Like, this is fucking badass. I don't know how much of that is true. I can only say that he said that. I don't know if he actually believes that or if he thought he could get away with it or what. But there is plenty of alternate artwork. The one on the left there, that's for Runaway because there's all the ballet shit that's associated with that song. That's probably the most famous cover aside from like the original, just because that's what they used instead. You have all these other covers. If you look at the bottom right, there's Dropout Bear again.
Oh.
But he's still doing his shit. Yeah, load of covers. This is probably his like most famous, most beloved album, just because of like where Kanye was before it and what he did afterwards for his reputation. And also this, that isn't the weeaboo face.
I just saw it.
Yeah. Basically, the way I look at it, it's like a funnel. So like all the music leading up to this point is condensed into the album, and all the music after this point can in some way stem from the album. So it goes boom in and then out. It's really hard. Imagine watching this without like the visual representation of my arms.
Yeah.
It's like showing that's. But
It looks like an emo face now. Why did you say that?
yeah. So it's great. It's really influential. It was on like I think it was like the Billboard's #1 album of the decade for the 2010s.
You should have had arrows instead.
Moving on. Massive scale of the album. Because I thought about how epic it is, how like the sound is completely different from song to song. This is what some critics have to say. In fact, this record's only flaw is that its scale is so awe-inspiring it tends to paper over any weaker cracks. BBC review. Being crazy is this guy's job, and judging from the sound of his music, business is booming. My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy is his most manically inspired music yet, coasting on heroic levels of dementia, pimping on top of Mount Olympus. Yeezy goes for the grandeur of stadium rock, the all-devouring sonics of hip-hop, the erotic gloss of disco, and he goes for all of it all the time. Nobody halfway sane could have made this album. That's from Rolling Stone.
I love this about him. He's just crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, this album is huge. Like, the criticism of the album is it's actually like so big it's kind of overwhelming. That's the biggest criticism of the album that critics give it, okay? It's pretty epic. These are all the artists. You probably recognize a couple of them.
Yeah.
Okay. Who did it start with? Bon Iver. That's the guy in the top right, the white boy with the guitar. He was a real sad boy. He does like the Lost in the World. It's called Woods. It's the song. Kanye. I'm unsure of like exactly what the relationship is, because Woods was a single that came out before the album. But like they still have like a really positive relationship. I'm not sure if it was like a sampling thing or if Kanye kind of convinced Bon Iver to do it for the album. I just know that like it's in the album. Pharrell Williams, he has like a vocal sample on Blame Game. That's John Legend, you fucking idiot. Rick Ross, you probably don't know him. He's a kind of rapper where like if you know about rap, you know him. But like if you don't know about rap, you. Elton John.
I know who Elton John is.
He doesn't. He might have vocals. I think on All the Lights for the chorus or whatever, there's like a big like chorus kind of thing. And I think he sings All the Lights, but I think more importantly, there's like an instrumental interlude to All the Lights that I think he composed himself for the album.
That's cool.
Yeah, that he got Elton John. Pusha T, funnily, he does a verse on Runaway, which is Let's Have a Toast for the Douchebags. And when Pusha T first submitted his verse, Kanye is like, "You are not enough of a douchebag. You need to sound more scummy." Chris Rock, he has a skit on Blame Game, so same song with Pharrell Williams. He has this weird 3-minute skit of like Kanye calls a girl and like she didn't pick up, but like he hears like a voicemail or whatever, and it's just she's like fucking the shit out of a different guy, and like wasting all of Kanye's money to give this guy like a watch or whatever. It's a real weird skit. Yeezy taught me. Anyone who fucking heard the album knows. Rihanna, she's got a vocal thing in All the Lights. She does the chorus. Nicki Minaj. Best verse she's ever done, and Kanye coached her through it. I think she gave a verse and Kanye was like, "I don't have to put you on this album. I don't have to give you a song." And he fucking like he brings her from start to finish, and it's like one of the most legendary verses in like rap. And Kanye didn't write it, but he made sure Nicki Minaj did that shit perfectly, and it's great. And she out raps like Jay-Z and Kanye on that song. It's just a shame that like without Kanye, her music's kind of fucking shit. Kid Cudi and Jay-Z, they're on the album as well. Kanye's good old friends.
Oh no.
They're friends at this point.
At this point.
At this point.
What happens?
You have to keep going through to find out.
This is such a. Oh, I knew she was coming.
Obviously. How could you not see that ass coming from a mile away? Look how fucking. Jesus.
How fake it is.
Yeah. Lost in the World, the final track of the album, is a poem for Kim Kardashian. Now, I'm assuming right now at this point, you're like, Kim Kardashian Kanye is the fucking dumbest shit ever. Celebrities aren't people in the public's eye. Right?
Yeah.
That's the thesis of this album. You don't fucking know what their life is like without cameras and shit on them. They are completely different people. She was in a powerful enough situation where she could love me without asking for money, which is really hard for me to find.
That's actually quite fair. Yeah.
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 Yeah, I know it's fair. I know. It's almost like they're human beings. With
I
emotions.
never said they
Yeah.
weren't.
No, I'm not saying you. I'm saying people in general don't think of them in this way. So Kim marries NBA player Chris Humphries. Okay, so I said that, but then this is me. After 72 days.
Oh, okay.
So this was a publicity stunt.
Yeah.
This was in 2011. I think in 2012, Kanye and Kim start dating, and she was like a long-term friend of Kanye at this point, obviously, because "It's Lost in the World's" a love song he wrote for her, and that was in 2010.
Okay.
Yeah. Bad lyrics in this album.
Oh no.
Because the same people that tried to blackball me forgot about two things: my black balls. Tell them Yeezy said they can kiss my whole ass. More specifically, they can kiss my asshole. Have you ever had sex with a pharaoh? Put the pussy in a sarcophagus.
What?
The line is, have you ever had sex with a pharaoh? Put the pussy in a sarcophagus. There is absolutely no defense. This is trash and hell of a life. Opening line, I think I just fell in love with a porn star. Turn the camera on, she a born star.
Oh.
Now, in defense of this song, it's called Hell of a Life, and the whole point of it, it's a play on terms, hell of a life. The whole, like, celebrities aren't real people.
How it's a hell of life on hell.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go. You get it.
Yeah.
So the whole point of people are like, oh, you must, like, love, like, having sex with lots of women, but, like, porn star, like, who cares? There's no, like, love. There's no like, emotional attachment to it. It's
just sex. There's no connection.
Yeah. That's the point of the song. So the point of the song is to, like, once again, the whole trashiest lyrics ever. Like, I run away with, like, you're not enough douchebag. This thing is kind of being the most fucking vile shit ever. The song also slaps, like, the beat. The chorus of it is the Iron Man thing, except it's, have you lost your mind? When you think we've crossed a line, no more drugs for me. Pussy and religion is all I need. Yeah. So it's trash, but intentional trash,
Okay.
which I think can be appreciated, and it needs to be appreciated for its next solo album after this.
Oh no.
Watch the Throne. That's the next album. It's a compilation with Jay-Z. I'm not a big fan of this album just because it feels more like as opposed to like a compilation album, it feels more like a Jay-Z album with Kanye like giving verses on it. Especially like when compared to My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy, because they're like a year apart. And like the scale of it and how epic it was, and then this is like the same like kind of epic aesthetic it's going for, but it's only in like one particular kind of sound that's aiming for. And there's nowhere near the same level of contrast, so I'm just, if I'm ever in that mood, I'll always go to Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy. I'll never go to Watch This Throne. There are some good songs in it. No Church of the Wild, great opening song, great for like running or working out and shit. And N-Words in Paris.
Sorry, I just heard what you said there. Yeah?
Yeah. That song's great. It's a shame I'm white because I can't say that shit out loud. Yeah, so these are all the Grammys just from that period of time. Best Rap Solo Performance for Power. That was like when it was a single, so it wasn't part of the album. And then Otis is Watch the Throne. All of the Lights, Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy. Best Rap Album, My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy. Important to note, Watch the Throne was also nominated for Best Rap Album that year.
Oh, cool.
So he had 2 album nominations for Best Rap Album.
Yeah.
Insane. N-Words in Paris. No Church of the Wild. Yeah.
Words in Paris.
I'm not gonna say it. George Floyd, respect.
Why are you pointing at me? I was the one who was like,
Okay.
you can't say that.
His first child, whose name is Northwest.
Oh no.
Well, and this is there's another example around this of like celebrities aren't people, where people are like, oh, Northwest, that's a dumb name. You have to be a retarded idiot to do that. It's like a celebrity was like, huh, so why'd you name your child Northwest? That's she goes, isn't it a beautiful name? And like, I mean, people are like, oh, well, you're dumb if you think that's a good name. But it's like at the same time, people are making fun of like her child's name for just because you think it's dumb. Like, you don't know them, you don't know their life story, you don't know what led up to this decision.
You're very passionate about this.
Yes,
aren't you?
because people are being mean to Kanye, and I don't think he deserves all of it.
Some of it.
He
was
deserves a
his
lot of it. He
ass,
doesn't
yeah.
deserve all of it.
Yeah, but I kind of like it though, because it's like tongue in cheek in a weird, because North
Yeah.
and West.
I don't like the name,
Yeah.
but like,
But
I'm not gonna like say, oh, you're stupid for choosing that name. I'm gonna say I don't like the name.
I mean, like, didn't Beyonce name her child Apples or something?
Yeah, but like that wasn't a pun on your second name.
That's why that's better.
that was the
That's
shitty-
clever, at least.
Is it though? Is it?
But North is like a nice name. It's just that she has the unfortunate last name of West. A lot of people are named North, aren't they? It's an American name.
Yeah. So I wouldn't know. We have like Owen, but with a GH, so like I can't really make fun of
I
people for
hate
stupid
I'm
names.
not fond of the Irish names
Yeah.
either. Anyway, go on. We're off
Okay.
topic.
Kim Kardashian, once again.
Wait, are they not married yet?
They become
Oh, okay.
engaged on October 21st, 2013.
After their first kid.
After their first kid, yes.
Okay. I'm not judging. I'm just.
Yeah,
You know.
just fair enough. Good thing are you understanding at this point that like there's more to their life than like what we see, and I'm just like kind
That's
of.
like every celebrity though.
I know it is, but like Kanye gets this shit the worst. He gets judged the worst based on a headline, and people never ever go back to see, well, why did he say that? They just hear he said that and then judge him for it. And you know that's what this lecture is trying to like be like. Yeah, you're kind of stupid if you think that. Fashion. He starts going into fashion at this point in time.
Okay.
And a lot of people didn't really like this because, like, well, you're a musician and we love your music. We don't give a shit about your shoes and shit.
Fuck. Yeah, it's future me here. Just letting you know that this is far from Kanye's first time being involved with fashion. He started several weird trends in the mid-2000s, like his iconic pink polo, and he used to even be called the Louis Vuitton Don. Point being, this didn't just come out of nowhere, it's always been an interest of his. He just, finally brings it to the forefront here.
But Yeezys are really successful. I think the way Kanye explained it is like, well, I was always like Like, just because I'm working on shoes doesn't mean I'm not working on music. Like, I can't, like, if I have this idea, I'm going to make it. And if I make music, I'm going to be distracted by this idea anyway. So, like, there's no point unless I get this idea out. That's fair enough. I'm going to be honest, I don't know fucking shit about shoes. These are Red Octobers. He just references in a song on his next album. I think they look kind of cool.
They are, if you're into that.
Yeah, I'd never wear them, though.
Well, you wearing jeans is a weird thing, so...
Yeah. Okay, fuck you, bitch. Oh, yeah, this is it. I shouldn't be limited to only one place of creativity. You guys don't understand that I did the Yeezys and they eBayed for $90,000 and people wanted them badly, but I didn't get a call from Nike the next day. You don't understand what they do is try to figure out how to control you.
Oh, that's very true.
Yeah. So, this is essential to understanding his next album, because we didn't know at the time, but Kanye's bipolar. And his next album is basically one of his manic moments, but for 40 minutes straight, and that's the album. And that is the experience of the album. And he's just pissed off at fucking everything. And this is a reoccurring theme. You're like, my shoes were so good! Fuck you!
Well, they sold.
Yeah, they did sell. They sold really well. But, like, imagine making, like, an album as successful, as influential as The College Dropout, and then never being told you can make a second album. And that's what Kanye, like, compared this to.
Yeah.
He's like, what?
It doesn't make sense.
It doesn't make sense. What the fuck are you doing? You know, you're just trying to get more money out of me. I'm trying to be an artist. And he was just fucking pissed off at that shit. So, that same interview, infamous interview, here are some of my favourite quotes. Highly recommend. It's on BBC Radio. It's the 2013 Zayn interview. He also did one in 2018. That's like 2 hours long. The 2013 one is unintentionally hilarious. He also has the houseway thing. That was kind of a meme. I don't have like a picture of it at the time because it's not really relevant to Kanye shit, but relevant to the meme culture. That was around this time. The whole like pissed off and shoes and shit. So, infamous interview. Quotes. When I say I'm a god, people are like, who does he think he is? I just told you who I think I am. A god!
Oh yeah! That's the meme! Isn't it?
Why do you think the song N-Words in Paris was called N-Words in Paris? Because N-Words was in Paris!
It doesn't work because when you just...
It does not work. I'm white. I'm so sorry. It's in my code. It's in my code. Have y'all ever seen Wreck-It Ralph? Remember that girl? She was a glitch. You tell me they don't look at me like the motherfucking glitch? You tell me they don't look at Kanye West like the glitch? It's in my code. It's in my code. He also makes fun of Lady Gaga's like business relationship with Polaroids because she doesn't know shit about cameras. That it's like an hour. You can watch it on YouTube for free. BBC Radio. Recommend the shit out of that. It's just great. Kanye takes back his apology for Taylor Swift.
Oh god.
But has the instinct led you astray? Like the Taylor Swift interruption at the MTV Video Music Awards, things like that. It's only led me to complete awesomeness at all times. It's only led me to awesome truth and awesomeness. Beauty, truth, awesomeness. That's all it is. New York Times. Relatively trustworthy source. I've never read a newspaper. I don't know. Like one of their newspapers. So that was a situation in which you gave in to peer pressure to apologize. Yeah. The apology was already half-assed, especially because like a year later he released his wrong. Yeah. Like... Now he's like, no, that was just peer pressure. I actually didn't mean anything you said. Jesus. That's the actual name of the album. That's the album cover. Because he's like... Because the whole point of it is like, fuck establishment. And there's nothing more establishment than an album cover. So he's like, not even doing an album cover. Fuck you. Jesus is what it's called. Rick Rubin. This guy. One of the main producers at Kanye's record. I think he's at a different record label now. He might still be a Rockefeller. Okay, so... With regards to Rick Rubin, I said he was like a producer for Rockefeller, but that's not true. He was actually one of the founders for this company called Def Jam Recordings, and just in trying to look into the producers and shit like that, and how the record labels kind of intermingle with each other, it's real complicated. I don't quite understand it.
based on literally like these 3 Wikipedia articles. Rockefeller I got because it's on the side of all the Kanye CDs I own. And Good Music is like Kanye's own record label. And the gist I get from that Wikipedia article is that Kanye was basically given this label to kind of own in like 2004, and he doesn't even want it because it's like real distracting for him making his own music to then have to go and check in on other artists on top of that. But he does own this, and he's switched to Good Music as you can see on Yay. I think can you see? Shit, you can't. But you can see Rockefeller on all the old Kanye ones, and you see Def Jam there because he had this falling out. As you can see here, there's an article. Kanye West sues Rockefeller because of the beef he has with Jay-Z, I'm assuming. Or maybe just got fucked over. I don't know. This article's all like, it's real vague. We just know it happened, but literally no details have come out other than that. But yeah, so from what I understand, Def Jam is like... So they're a record label, but they mainly just sort of distribute other stuff for Kanye and shit, and maybe they help produce it. I'm not 100% sure. Like I said before at the start, I'm more of just a Kanye fan than a music fan. So if you are a music fan and you actually know this shit, and this is very fucking frustrating to listen to because I'm just that retarded, I'm sorry, correct me in the comments. Otherwise... This is just some important shit to know, is that Kanye had this falling out, and I just forgot to mention it. Yeah, there you go. Who would have thought just this random fucking producer that I was literally just throwing in there because it shows how frantic that fucking Jesus is. Led to this fucking complex shit that I don't even understand. Jesus Christ.
Real important guy. He describes working on Yeezus. Kanye came over to play me what I assumed was going to be the finished album at 3 weeks before the last possible delivery date. We ended up listening to 3 hours of partially finished pieces. The raw material was very strong but hadn't yet come into focus. Many of the vocals hadn't been recorded yet, and many of those still didn't have lyrics. From what he played me, it sounded like several more months' work had to be done. I joined the project because after discussing what he had played for me, he asked if I'd be open to taking all the raw material on and help him finish it. He described the experience as like when he was working on it, like Kanye was like real calm the whole time. Like, yeah, of course I'll get this finished. And he was like panicking. He was like, God, we've got no time to finish this. There's so much work left to be done. Like, the only reason he even like came on the project was because like he was like, Kanye, I have like other artists who like don't have albums out for like several months from now, and they are way more finished than your thing that's due in like 3 weeks. Right? That just only adds to the intensity of this album, though. That raw, manic workload that was required. The Yeezus tour.
Jesus tour, okay.
He wears this mask for quite a bit. There's a interview with like Lil Wayne where he was asked what he thought of Kanye, and he was like, yeah, he wore this mask, and it was like, say the album was like 3 hours long, he wore that for like 2 hours 57 minutes. I don't know how accurate that is. I never saw the Yeezus tour or anything. But point being, he rapped while wearing this mask for like several hours. He did eventually take it off when Jesus came out on stage.
Jesus, for some reason.
Yeah. Yeah. He performs Hey Mama on the Yeezus tour. You can find the clip on YouTube. He fucking breaks down. He's still not over his mom. He's still not over how guilty he is. He fucking breaks down. He can't even finish rapping. And you see the fucking crowd like, woo, Kanye, woo, why'd you stop singing? Like, fucking, but like, you go to the comments like, fuck you, fucking cunts, he basically cry. I don't know if he was crying because he's wearing a mask, but he stopped singing. He was like that.
So he obviously gets choked up.
Yeah. Still, like, that's like 5 years after she died. He is still fucked up about this.
What, wouldn't you be?
Yeah. It had a severe effect on him. You know, several layers to a person. You don't know them unless you know, like, their actual life, not what the cameras tell you.
What an asshole crowd, though.
Yeah, kinda.
Like, wouldn't you just keep, like, what most crowds do would just keep going?
Yeah. So, bad lyrics. Okay, so, Okay, remember Hell of a Life, and how the whole point of that was to be like as much of like a douchebag as possible, like in terms of like trashy lyrics. Jesus is also like that, because I say it as like a manic thing. To me, I can't listen to it as like a temper tantrum album. And when you're in that temper tantrum, you're like, oh, fuck you, mom, you fucking bitch, you fucking cunt, fucking cocksucker, bitch, piece of shit, fucker. Can't believe you made me do my homework. You know, that's kind of the shit. Yeah. So that's like an album. You need to understand, like that's the character that Kanye is. This probably there's two whole slides of this, because there wasn't enough space in this one slide.
Calm down. You're getting so okay, red.
So there's two whole slides of this bad lyrics, by the way, because I couldn't fit in the one. So the whole point of this album is Kanye is this like worst degenerate bottom of the barrel piece of shit, and by the end of the album he like finds love and he grows as a person. He's not perfect now. He still says cringy shit all the time, but he has grown. So here's some bad lyrics. As soon as I pull up and park the Benz, we get this bitch shaking like Parkinson's.
Oh no.
That's the opening track.
Oh no.
One last announcement. No sports bar, let's keep it bouncing. Also the opening track. Same song.
That's funny though.
That's when David Grubman kicked her out, but I got her back in and put my dick in her mouth.
Oh no.
Same song. Those three lyrics are all from the same song. The opening song. The first song on the album. This sounds just retarded, because it's Battle of Thermopylae, so like Spartans. There's no Romans. It's Greek. Come on, Kanye, you're better than this. I am a god, so hurry up with my damn massage in a French house restaurant. Hurry up with my damn croissants.
Oh, I do know that.
And he says that so fucking aggressively and angrily, and it's hilarious. And I think so. The thing about this is like I said, the whole thematic thing and how like that's all relevant. Like, people say, oh, the lyrics in this are trash, but I'm like, yeah, they're trash, but they're intentionally trash. So you can look at it. It's obvious why you wouldn't like it, and that's fine if it's just like not your aesthetic thing. It's you do you, but like to say it's bad because there are bad lyrics is just misunderstanding the album. Because this is tied for me. My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy is like my favorite Kanye album, and like probably like top 5 albums of all time. Like, I love this album. And I think it wouldn't work without these trashy lyrics. Because the character arc they help show. It's not like it's telling a story, it's like showing a character and showing their growth through the way they speak, as opposed to like telling events that they did. So that song features God. I've already gone over that. I just talked to Jesus. He said, "What up, Jesus?"
Okay.
You see, it's leaders and it's followers, but I'd rather be a dick than a swallower.
I kind of get what he means.
You get what he means, but like...
But, oh, it's so...
The thing with that, I actually like that line, because once again, the whole like character, because that's exactly how this character would display the message they're trying to give across. You know? It works. It's still trash, but it works. Fuck you and your Hampton spouse. I'll fuck your Hampton spouse. Came on her Hampton blouse and in her Hampton mouth.
Okay.
Your titties let him out free at last. Thank God Almighty they free at last. Eating Asian pussy, all I need was sweet and sour sauce.
Okay. Whoa, that's a bit much now.
Yeah. Put my fist in her like a civil rights sign, and grabbed it with a slight grind, and held it to the right time. Then she came like, ah! It was like a bitch thing. That, yeah. I'm a Raplik priest. Getting heads by the nuns. Just because he said Raplik priest. Like Catholic, but Raplik.
Okay.
That's a trashy line. I'd be speaking swag heely. Fuck you for laughing at that. That sounds sucks. Star Wars fur, yeah. I'm rocking Chewbacca.
What?
Yeah. Start a Fight Club Brad reputation. So the rhyme scheme from this is like, I've got to leave a girl sad reputation. I've got like a mad reputation. And this one he just says I've got a Brad reputation, which doesn't really like make any sense at all.
No.
Yeah. But this is down too. This is like the love song. This is the finale. This is the character growth. And this line shows the most character growth. I want to fuck you hard in the sink. After that, get you something to drink. Step back, can't get spunk in the mic, right? Because, like, before, he would have just, like, fucked bitch, like, just fucked the shit, and, like, didn't give a shit. Whereas now he's still like, I will fuck the shit out of every bitch I see, but he's like, they're still a person. There is still an aftermath to the fucking that I have to care about. It's character growth. It's still trash, but it's character growth. She asked me what I wish for my wish list. Have you ever asked your bitch for other bitches? So it didn't win any Grammys at all. It got nominated for a few. Yeah. He was like real angry, like, oh, how this album could have been so popular. It had so many bangers and hits on it. It didn't. It's a great album. It didn't have any like hits because like of all the lyrics being so abrasive and aggressive and so unappealing to so many people.
Yeah, it can't be.
Like, I love this album and I get it. But if you don't get it, you're not gonna pay enough. You're not gonna care enough to try and get it because you don't like it. So, yeah.
Oh, now you're taking a drink.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Kim Kardashian again. Kanye marries Kim on May 24th, 2014.
Oh.
And this is the payoff to some hot goss from earlier on that you were wondering about yourself. Jay-Z did not attend the wedding!
Why? Why did he not attend?
So Kanye's been vocal about being heard about the two friends missing, because Jay-Z and Beyonce, because they were like married at the time.
Yeah.
But it was like 2014. So remember like how in like 2016 or 2015, Beyonce released Lemonade, and how the whole point of that album was Jay-Z was cheating on her. I ain't going to nobody for nothing when my wife beefing. I don't care if it's house on fire. I'm dying. N-word. I ain't leaving. So Jay-Z's like, okay. This Jay-Z and Beyonce have this weird like compilation, just like co-produced album, kind of like What's It From with Kanye and Jay-Z, but like no one really cares about this one. I don't think. So basically, Jay-Z's like, I was like going through some shit with like my wife, and like we were having our own like domestic struggles. So like I'm real sorry I can't attend your wedding, but like I have my own shit to deal with.
Which is fair.
It's fair, but Kanye's like, but it was still my wedding.
Yeah,
you did what the fuck?
You could have gone on your own.
So like, yeah, like this is the kind of argument where it's like you completely understand both sides.
Yeah.
Right?
This is the one special day. Why couldn't you kind of?
Yeah.
Yeah, I understand both. I can understand both.
Yeah, exactly.
But then they're also celebrities.
Yeah,
so they can't be seen not going to something together.
Yeah, exactly. Especially because to Kanye, because he'll fucking make a big deal out of it.
Well, not just that, it's Beyonce and Jay-Z.
Yeah.
Beyonce, like.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Oh, so I can see why.
The goss only intensifies at this point, by the way.
So then people just.
No, not for Jay-Z and Kanye, just for Kanye in general. The goss intensifies.
Oh God.
Kanye just gets crazier and crazier from this point. Okay. Until he just stops being crazy because he's found Jesus Christ. Only One. Oh, so a year later, he released a single called Only One, and it's a song written from the perspective of Donda West talking to Kanye, and Kanye released a song as like a song for his own daughter, Northwest, like on her first birthday.
Yeah. Aww.
Yeah, it's cute. It's cute.
Yeah.
Kanye's a person. He does sweet things.
And
we just don't usually see them.
He's a father and a husband.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Taylor Swift in 2015.
Oh!
No, it's actually not that bad.
Oh,
it's actually fine.
I want the
So February 8th, 2015, Weft and Swift hug it out. People were like, oh, maybe there's a collaboration going up. And Swift says she respects West. A lot of amazing ideas. He's one of those people that's just like, idea. We've talked about it, but we've also talked about so many other things. I completely respect him as a producer, so that's all I know. So she's down for like a collaboration with Kanye. Yeah. So August 30th, 2015, Swift honors West at the VMAs. It's like a Michael Jackson like musical like influencer. I don't care about these award shows, so I don't really know.
I get what you mean.
But Video Vanguard or I don't know. I've been a fan of his for as long as I can remember because Kanye defines what it means to be a creative force in music, fashion, and well, life. So I guess I have to say to all the other winners tonight, I'm really happy for you, and I'm gonna let you finish. But Kanye West has had one of the greatest careers of all time.
Fair play for not being bitter.
Yeah, it's cute. Yeah. It's like
nice.
She's making a joke out of it. They've moved on at this point. It's over. The beef is over.
Oh no! What's that face?
Dr. Kanye. Kanye, the college dropout. School of the Art Institute of Chicago. Give him an honorary doctorate. Not a diploma, a doctorate.
Why?
He's Dr. Kanye West, technically.
Why did they give it to him?
Because he never graduated, and like he's been so influential, and he's like so like respectful to Chicago, and he's done so much for the community. I think that they're just like honorary graduate. I don't understand the inner workings. I just find it funny that like Kanye, who made a whole album saying college is pointless and a waste of time, and he was famously known as the college dropout, got an honorary doctorate, so he's more qualified than so many people who actually would go through the college system fully.
How pissed would you be if you're one of the other people?
It's pretty funny.
Yeah.
Kanye's VMA acceptance speech, August 30th, 2015. So he announced he's going to run for president in 2020.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Yeah. I just feel like it's important to bring up.
Yeah. Because it was a thing.
Yeah, it happened. Saint West, so his second daughter, she's born. Woo! December 5th, 2015. These are Grammys. These are all like background for. They're nothing like none of them are his songs. As I think All Day his maybe. I'm not too sure. I think that's his. But like for most part, he's not released like a major album since Yeezus in 2013. Kanye's in debt.
What?
And we all know he's in debt because on Twitter he said, "I write this to my brothers while still $53 million in personal debt. Please pray we overcome. This is my true heart." And also on Twitter, he asked Mark Zuckerberg to invest $1 billion in Kanye West ideas. Mark Zuckerberg's like, no. No. He's just like, no. Why would he do that?
So the main reason why Kanye was in debt, from what I can tell, is that he put so much money into his fashion career that even though he made profit, he just didn't make back the money he thought he would, and this kind of fucked him over a little bit.
This happened. He references it all on the next album. Good Fridays again. 3 more. I think they're singles. I think they're the singles released on Friday. I don't think they're free like the Good Fridays leading up to My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy. All of these songs made it onto the next album. New album. First of all, he said it's finished. It's called Swish. This is the final track list. This is what it ended up being, because it was not the final track list at all.
Okay. Future me again. Another name for the album around this time was called So Help Me God. This was supposed to be a gospel rap fusion, which the album ultimately ended up being. I think it's very important, especially with the shit Kanye did recently, to just kind of know reincorporating religion here. Although that was always a thing. Jesus Walks is like one of the most iconic singles off of his first album, so it's not like it's new that he talked about Jesus in his rap. It's just now he's got like a whole album focused on it. Or he tried to. It didn't really work out this time. It does later though. I'll get to that. You'll get to that. Just keep watching.
You'd probably be able to guess at this point, but the next album is what is commonly referred to as a clusterfuck. Called The Life of Pablo.
Oh, I've heard of this.
That's the album cover. It's real like subtle. I don't know if you can tell. It says which one, and it's like family and also butts and sex. I'm gonna remind you, he has 2 kids when he released this album, and that was something he felt was appropriate for the cover. So this is the release party. He premiered it at the Madison Square Garden during his Adidas Yeezy Season 3 fashion show. And look at that, there's Kid Cudi with him, there's Pusha T, the whole gang's there. I don't think Jay-Z's there though, because I think they're still kind of pissed. And in hindsight, I believe they kind of both are like, they're brothers and brothers fight.
Yeah, they've kind of gotten over it now.
No.
Oh.
No.
Okay.
They acknowledge that they still love each other, but they're still kind of pissed off at each other.
Okay.
I believe. I'm not 100% sure though. But like Jay-Z had like a feature or 2 or 3 on all of Kanye's albums prior to Yeezus, and they had none since.
I see.
So, okay. The album's stream only, and okay.
You had to add it.
I had to add some weeb shit here. I just couldn't not. It's title exclusive. Oh, I know. Actually, no, he wasn't. He was kind of friends with Jay-Z at the time because Tidal was Jay-Z's like version of Spotify, and it was Tidal exclusive on February 14th. The album debuted as #1 on the US Billboard. The first to do it only through streaming because it's stream only. Remember, April. It's already not exclusive to Tidal Records. In like 2 months less, it's available on like Spotify and Apple Music and Google Music. And he only went there just to push like Tidal Music to help his friend out, even though he was kind of pissed at him for not going to his wedding. It's not exclusive anymore.
This Tidal exclusive is so popular.
Actually, it was like pirated a lot. The album, because people were like, I'm not gonna pay for this whole new streaming service just to listen to this one album. And actually, it's kind of interesting though because it was an unfinished product, clusterfuck, but stream only, which means you could fix it. Fix numerous songs. You can go on Twitter. He has like this tweet goes like, "I'm a fixed wolf," and then he goes like 3 hours like, "Fixed it" or whatever. that was the thing that happened. Whole new final song called Saint Pablo. It's the life of Pablo, Saint Pablo. Yeah. The album goes full circle though. Remember the very first song, Kanye's very first album, where it's like, we wasn't supposed to make it past 25, jokes on you still alive?
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't supposed to make it past 25.
Aww.
On the final song on his final album at this point. It's not his final album, but his newest album. That's a nice little character arc within his music entirely. That like, even if you didn't know any of the other shit about Kanye, which this is more like a broadening, like a branching of different bullet points that you probably had in your head. You probably knew a lot of this stuff already. I'm just making it easier to like condensify it. But even if you just listen to his music, you'd still get this reference. You'd be like, oh, it's cute. Bad lyrics in this album. Gonna remind you, he has a wife and 2 kids when he released this album. Now if I fuck this model and she just bleached her asshole and I get bleached in my t-shirt, I'ma feel like an asshole. 2 kids.
2 girls as well.
Yeah. I need every bad bitch up in Equinox. I want to know right now if you a freak or not. I know it's corny bitches you wish you could follow. I know it's corny oh. I know it's corny N-words you wish you could unswallow. Sorry, I'm so used to hearing this shit in my head and be like, Kanye, what the fuck? So I done goofed there. I apologize. Sex tape was revealed of Kanye. No. Sorry. Okay. No, this is different. There is a sex tape revealed of Kanye having sex with like a Kim Kardashian lookalike. It's not actually Kim Kardashian. I think that was like, but this is a different thing. It's referenced throughout the life of Pablo. I had a cousin that stole my laptop that I was fucking bitches on. So like his sex tape was on his laptop. I need to pay that cousin $250,000 just to get it from him. So Kanye after this is really fucking manic, really fucking paranoid because he can't even trust his own family.
Yeah.
You know? Okay, this is remember how they were all good and how I gave you that look?
Yeah.
This line is why.
Oh. Why?
Yeah. Taylor Swift responded with her Grammy acceptance speech. I want to say to all the young women out there, there are going to be people along the way who try to undercut your success or take credit for your accomplishments and your fame. But if you just focus on the work and you don't let those people sidetrack you, someday, when you get where you're going, you look around and you will know that it was you and the people who love you and who put you there, and that will be the greatest feeling in the world. So she's basically like, fuck you, Kanye. You're not the reason I'm famous. I'm the reason I'm famous. Fuck you. Can you name a single Taylor Swift song though before Kanye did the thing though?
Yes.
What was it?
I do know it. She was all into country music at the time.
Yeah.
I know it as well.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, sure. Well, you're a white girl. You don't count. Also, I think. Yeah. Okay. If I remember correctly, yeah. He releases the music video for the song "Famous," which has that line in it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to censor that out for the video. that was a wax model of Taylor Swift's naked body. The premise of the video is that like it's Kanye and a load like controversial figures like Chris Brown and Rihanna, who like have like this domestic violence relationship that happened. Donald Trump's there, Kanye, Kim, Taylor Swift obviously because he has the goss there. All these controversial figures, and they're all naked on a bed. And there's like a camera watching them, and it's like real creepy, like watching them like sleeping and like breathing slowly, and you feel real creepy. He didn't ask Taylor for this stuff. The one thing that annoys me about this video, people say look at this video and they say oh, there's no artistic quality to this video, and those people are like objectively wrong. There's plenty of like things to hate about this video, like morally. That's fucked up. That you didn't even ask, and you're showing like her naked body, and she's a celebrity, and she's trying to. You can't do that, Kanye. Yeah. Kanye. No. But like, there's plenty of artistic quality to like showing celebrities at their most vulnerable point in time, and they're all controversial figures, and making the audience feel creeped out about watching them while they're at their most vulnerable.
Yeah.
That's Taylor stans need to shut the fuck up. You don't have to like the video. You just don't have to say stupid shit when you're commenting on the video.
It's just, yeah, it's just that he.
Well, yeah, exactly.
You can't just.
Oh, by the way, the song's like 4 minutes long. This music video is like 10 minutes long because like there's like a verse and then like 5 minutes of slowly, creepily panning over all the naked bodies before it finishes the song.
Can we watch it when we finish this?
We can watch it when we finish this.
Because I'm curious now.
You're curious, yeah.
But now that you told me it's a wax figure, you can kind of see it.
You can kind of see it, but like at the time, people were like, "Is that it's Taylor Swift fucking naked in Kanye West? What the fuck?"
You could see why she'd be really angry.
Yeah, you can.
Yeah.
So July 17th, 2016, Kim Kardashian joins this reignited feud.
For fuck's sake.
She releases footage on Snapchat where Taylor asked if the line was okay. Taylor says, I mean, it's like a compliment, kind of. Because, she's like, you think I'm sexy. Because he did, but, so this is a bit complicated, though. Because he just said to all my Southside N-words that know me best, I feel like me and Taylor might still have sex. He didn't say, because I made that bitch famous. But the thing about this, though, is Taylor denied ever giving any consent to the song at all. Which wasn't true, but Kanye didn't tell her the whole truth of the line.
Oh, so he told her...
He told her the sex thing, he didn't tell her that he made her famous part.
And that's what probably
That's what pissed her off.
Yeah.
Okay? So it's a bit more complicated than just she didn't,
That she knew about it. She didn't know all of it.
Yeah. So, August 28th, Kanye just stops. He's like, people come to me like, yeah, that's right, take Taylor. And he's like, bro, I loved you. That's why I called her. Because he's like, if he actually was like, fuck Taylor Swift, he just would have said it and he wouldn't have given a shit. But like, he asked for her consent first.
Mm.
And there was also like miscommunication in terms of the whole...
What I'm going to say properly.
Yeah. That's... So... He never like brings up the feud again after this point. But Taylor Swift constantly does like some petty shit.
Okay, so she can't let it go now.
She brings a snake in tour with her because when Kim Kardashian was defending him, he called Taylor a snake for like going back on her word and what she agreed to. So
is that why there's a bunch of snakes in her music videos?
I don't know. I don't care about Taylor Swift. I care about Kanye, and by virtue of caring about Kanye, you have to know some basic things. She's so
over, like, her songs aren't good though. They're so generic.
Yeah, that's why.
Shit.
That's why
they're not deep.
Like that's why she's popular, but no one like cares above the age of like 13. Swift continuously calls Kanye and Kim bullies, like they're 7. It's weird.
Just ignore them.
Swift shares a diary entry about Kanye West from like a decade earlier with the whole VMAs, like the night after.
Mm-hmm.
She just shares that publicly.
Mm.
This is 2019. This is like 3 years in the future. I'm just getting all this shit done now because there's nothing really interesting after this point.
But she like is known for being petty about things.
Yeah, but like, why would you wait so long to do this stuff? It's so weird. Like, in March 2020, the full version of the famous phone call is leaked.
So, this is only this year.
Yeah. So like basically the Kim Kardashian thing was only like an edited thing, and this one's like the whole like 20-minute conversation thing. I haven't looked at it. I haven't seen all the details. The general gist I get from like comments or whatever, because it's on YouTube and shit, is like, oh, it completely changed perspective. Taylor Swift was right all along, and she never gave consent or whatever. I don't know exactly how it happened.
Okay, so I just watched the full 20-minute conversation thing, and I'm just so confused about how anyone is on the side of Taylor Swift. Like I said there, the whole point of why Taylor was angry was because he said he made her famous, but like around this point in the fucking video, he actually fucking said, oh, I might have said I made you famous. He's just like, yeah, well, like at this point, you know, I mean, it's true, I had like 7 million fans before that point, but no one talked about me, so she fucking is aware, she gives permission to that. She also gives permission to the initial, we had sex or whatever. So, I don't know, maybe being called a bitch pissed her off, but like it's hip hop. Like what, you expect her to call her a fucking perfect, beautiful goddess? Like, no, he's obviously gonna say bitch. Like, I just don't get. I mean, yeah, it's cunty to record the conversation, but like, I mean, considering exactly what happened, I think it's fucking obviously you would. I don't know. Maybe I'm just a Kanye stan, but like when you see that, like, she just completely gave permission for everything aside from one word, and granted it's a curse, and granted she might have been offended by that, and because I'm not her, but I could completely understand, like this is basically all the information we have at this point, but like I can completely understand having this conversation and then thinking, okay, she's okay with it, and just moving on, and genuinely thinking that, like, and then all these comments, like, there's not a single. They're all like, "Oh fuck Kanye," and I just don't get it. Like they're all acting like this fucking changes. I didn't change anything at all. I don't know. Maybe because it says the actual video starts at 10:01, so people just skip to that point and watch the first half where he did say fucking do the thing that actually changes it. I don't know. Maybe it's just like how Kanye kept preempting the whole thing, like, oh, you know, I asked with my wife, and we just kept talking about this is the best line, like, there's no way to make it nicer or whatever, and I don't know, but considering how he wants her to like it, I completely get warming her up in the way he did. I just, maybe there's something I'm missing, maybe I wasn't paying 100% attention, but I don't, oh god. Taylor stands fucking the worst.
But look at the date of that, March 2020. You know what happened in March? The coronavirus happened, which is why no one really cared. So Kim responded to Swift in a series of tweets. Oh God, okay. Taylor Swift has chosen to reignite an old exchange that at this point in time feels very self-serving given the suffering millions of real victims are facing right now.
Oh yes! Can I just say, what a great response.
Yeah.
It's like, no one fucking cares. People are dying. Yeah.
This will be the last time I speak on this because honestly, nobody cares. Sorry to bore you all with this. I know you are all dealing with more serious and important matters.
Yes, Kim Kardashian.
So like, a genius response because she doesn't address the issue. She just says Swift is a bitch for bringing it up at all.
Yeah.
Great. It's great.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
It's a great response because it's so
there's no way you can have a better response than that.
Yeah.
Just so Taylor Swift is just destroyed.
She looks really bad as well, like in the middle of Corona, which is still going on.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's what people died.
Taylor Swift was a fucking idiot there for doing that. Like, she had that. She should have been like, oh, if I wait like a year or two, I can just destroy. Also, why would she even try to? Like, it's like 5 years later at this point.
Because she had to stay inside all this, so she's bored and she needed something to entertain herself.
I don't know. Stupid. It was so stupid.
It's funny though.
Family emergency.
Oh no.
Back to 2016. We were 2020 just to get
the gossip.
Yeah, okay. 2016 there. Family emergency. On October 2nd, 2016, while attending Paris Fashion Week, Kardashian was robbed at gunpoint in the apartment where she was staying.
Oh.
5 individuals dressed as police officers bound and gagged her to install $10 million worth of jewellery. So Kanye leaves the concert halfway through. He just says, oh shit, this family business, just leaves. Everyone's like, what the fuck, until like the next day where they see the headlines.
Yeah, fair enough.
So he's like, ugh! So like, remember he also had like the laptop shit and he doesn't trust his family. Now he can't trust his wife to just be left alone and not be fucking like deal with this shit.
Yeah.
Also around this time, I'm not going to read this out loud, but basically he's like, I'm severely suicidal. I'm going into rehab. I'm sorry, I've been rapping about getting over depression and suicide for like a decade. I can't take it anymore. I want to kill myself. I'm going into rehab.
Fair play.
Yeah. This is a Facebook post. It's real emotional. Kanye actually does this cute thing. I don't have a picture of it where like shortly after that, like one of the biggest hits on this was Father Stretch My Hands Part 1. He just plays it like a slow down version. Like, yeah, this is for Kid Cudi for being such a fucking trooper and for just helping me out throughout the years. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
You're making me feel sorry for Kanye West.
Right. Well, Kid Cudi.
Wow.
Kanye was just being a sweet boy. Because he's a person. The tour... So obviously with all this fucking crazy shit happening, the tour just got cancelled.
Yeah.
So he comes an hour and a half late to one of his shows, performs a handful of songs, and just cancels the tour. He says, get ready to have a field day press because the show's over. Now, this was after, like, a series of just, like, weird, like, 20-minute rants he would just go on about how fuck Jay-Z and just shit like that. And, like, how he was pro-Trump and all this stuff. He goes to rehab because he had a mental breakdown.
Okay.
Which is fair enough considering all the crazy shit that's happening around here. He's diagnosed with bipolar.
Makes sense.
Yeah. So Kanye and Trump begins now.
Oh, yeah.
So November 17th, he supports Trump. So this is like before the tour cancels. One of his rants is he supports Trump. And December 13th, he meets Trump at Trump Tower 6 weeks after he was elected. They're best bros, basically.
Okay.
Kanye just throws himself out there as like a big old Trump supporter.
Why?
So he explained this in a Zane Lowe interview. You know, there's a 2013 one that was hilarious. There's a 2018 one. And the way he explains it, I think I'll go into more detail later, but I'll just explain it now because you asked. Basically, he announced he was going to be president for 2020 and people laughed at him and told you can't do it. And he's always viewed himself as like an outsider in terms of the celebrities and shit because everyone always hates him. Trump throughout the entire election was also viewed as an outsider. You're an idiot for saying you can do it, and yet he won despite that.
Okay.
So, basically, from what I understand, I could be misinterpreting this, Kanye is really more of a fan of the way Trump was able to persevere despite everyone telling him he couldn't do it. And he doesn't really care about the politics that much.
Okay.
Okay?
I get...
Yeah, so you get it. He doesn't hate black people. He's not a racist for supporting Trump. If you understand Kanye West and you hear this explanation, like, it makes perfect sense. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
But he seems like the kind of person that wouldn't really give a shit about politics
Yeah,
anyway.
yeah.
So
the idea of him, like, being supportive of a president at all, and, like, you know... Okay. So, a load of nominations for 2016. He didn't win anything. Ultralight Beam should have fucking won everything. It's the fucking greatest song ever made. It's not really, but it's really fucking good. Chicago West, born. He's from Chicago. He references Chicago all the time. You know. Interesting. I don't know what placenta credit is, but it makes giving birth hard, so it's a surrogate child. And she has one more child in the future, and that's also a surrogate child. Okay, yeah. Kind of weird. So, you don't agree with Trump, but the mob can't make me not love him. We are both dragon energy. He's my brother. I love everyone. I don't agree with everything anyone does. That's what makes us individuals, and we have the right to independent thought. So that's another thing. Because he supports Trump, and because everyone hates Trump so much, Kanye just doubles down.
Yeah, it's...
Because he's like, fuck you guys. Like, I'm allowed my own opinion. Like, just because you disagree with me doesn't mean that, like, I'm evil.
Yeah.
Yeah. He shows a picture of his MAGA hat getting signed because he's a big Trump fan. And people hate him for this. And I'm not going to say whether or not I support Trump. But, like... like, literally, like, who cares at this point? At this point in time.
Well, you should care now.
At this point in time... at this point in time, I think currently you should care, but at this point in time...
I wonder what his opinion is now.
I'll get to that later.
Oh!
Poopity scoop. You'll love this, because you love being petty... You love petty shit and hot goss. So he released this song called Lift Yourself. It's like a phenomenal beat. Like, people are like one of the most iconic things from Life of Pablo, which was the Stream Only album, was this song called I Love Kanye. It's 45 seconds long, and he's just rapping. There's literally no beat. It's just a cappella, and every single line ends with the phrase Kanye. And it's like, I miss the old Kanye. Chop up the stock. And it's hilarious. It's a great skit. A lot of people think it was kind of douchey, though, to releasing that album, especially considering how much of a clusterfuck it was. Because, like, you're being self-aware, but your music's still shit. Especially because the original version of Life of Pablo wasn't that good at all. Oh, also, another thing I forgot to mention. One of the... I forget which magazine, but they gave it like a 9 out of 10, and he was fucking pissed off. And he was fucking raging that it didn't get a perfect 10 out of 10.
Right. So these are things about Kanye that people really don't... You can't... You're like, shut up, Kanye. Just take it.
Yeah, okay. So... Lift Yourself. Phenomenal beat. It's back to form. It's the whole I miss the old Kanye. People were saying that, and this one actually is the old Kanye that people love. So... He comes out with this song, and it's like 2 minutes long. Like the first 2.5 minutes long. It's like the first like minute or whatever. It's like no, he's not rapping at all. It's just a beat. It's just a great beat. Then there's like 30 seconds of him being like, these next bars though, they're gonna be these next bars, and then the bars are just poopity scoop, scoop diddy whoop, poopity scoop diddy whoop, scoopity poop, and people are like, are you trolling us, Kanye? Like, what the fuck happened? What the fuck happened? So, Drake.
Okay.
This beat was initially meant to go to Drake. I don't understand exactly what beef happened, but there was beef.
Okay, so this is me from the future talking about the whole beef thing and how it was like Kanye being all fuck you because you fucked me over. I actually couldn't find any articles proving that. That was just kind of what I heard people saying, and maybe there's some truth to it. Maybe there's an article that I just can't find that says as much. But I did find this one article where Drake talks about the whole thing with the Kanye Lift Yourself beat, as you see right there, Lift Yourself. And he's basically like, yeah, so Kanye came up to me like, hey, you want me to produce one of your albums? And Drake was like, hell yeah, sure. So he's like, come over to my ranch in Wyoming, we'll work some shit out. So he does that, basically, like, helps Kanye write some of the lyrics and shit for Ye, which is the next album coming up. And then Kanye is just, he just doesn't fucking help him with anything at all. And then he fucks him over for the Lift Yourself shit as well on top of that. It's a gist, I guess, from this article. Granted, it's all fucking Drake quotes, and he's obviously gonna fucking make it so that you sympathize with him over Kanye. But the fact that I straight up can't find anything Kanye defending this or disputing that at all, maybe he did it on Twitter or whatever. I don't really follow Twitter. It's just some tweets have become iconic, which is why I include them in the lecture. So maybe there's something else there, and if you know, comment below and I'll like pin it or whatever. At the very least, I'll add it to the description of the video, and I'll do that for any thing that gets amended. So yeah, just feels wrong to give blatantly false information, so I'm just clarifying I was retarded there, unless I wasn't retarded, and I'm retarded here by fixing it based on this one article. But to be fair, it's fucking genius, which is pretty fucking trustworthy when it comes to music.
So Kanye had already sold this beat to Drake, but I think because he created it, he still had the rights to it. So if he releases this song, to just ruin the beat, so no matter what Drake does with it, it can't be taken seriously at all.
Because all you
hear is poopity scoop.
That's so petty, it's great.
Yeah, I thought you would love it. Charlemagne interview. Yeah. Okay, no, sorry, I said it was the Zane Lowe 2018. It was actually this Charlemagne interview. That's, by the way, he owns like 4 acres of land in Wyoming. That's just them walking around the land. This is him just explaining the Trump thing, so this is the exact quote. But the fact was he was able to do it. Like, remember when I said I was going to run for president? Now it's like it's proven that could have happened. Fair enough. He said slavery is a choice in 2018.
Oh god, Okay. What? Let me hear the explanation before I judge.
When you hear about slavery for 400 years, that sounds like a choice to me. You were there for 400 years, and it's all of y'all. It's like we're mentally imprisoned. So I think that it's like we're mentally imprisoned. I think that's
what he
that's what he meant. As a whole shower thought thing of like how he had the starting point and he had this finishing point and developed it all in his head. And he just gave the finishing point, which is slavery is a choice. Which would be a great way to sum up like a 5-paragraph essay or whatever, and then say slavery was a choice because you're mentally imprisoned. He didn't say that. He just said slavery is a choice. So people were like, Kanye, what the fuck are you saying? But like, I find it impossible to believe he genuinely meant this because he's referenced slavery constantly.
Yeah.
Like, one of the songs he uses was called New Slaves. You know? Yeah. One Blood on the Leaves is like talking about like, it's a sample of this Nina Simone song where she's talking about like black bodies swinging on the poplar leaves. So like people like being killed and like hung on trees like black people were. Yeah. He talks about racism and slavery and shit. Even from like the very first album on like spaceships and shit, he would talk about like how they'd always put like if there's a black if there's like a white person like a clothes shop or whatever, he would never deal with them. But if a black person was like throw them to the front, like, oh, see, we got like racial. He's racially aware. He is not the kind of person that would just say slavery is a choice and genuinely be that misinformed. So I believe this thing he says, like how we're all mentally imprisoned. I think that was what he was trying to get at.
But
although, shut the fuck up, Kanye. The Wyoming sessions. His launch in Wyoming, he gets a load of artists over, and 5 short albums released over 5 consecutive weeks. They're released on Fridays, so like fans like, oh, it's like Good Fridays again, but like it wasn't technically a Good Fridays thing. When I mean short albums, they were like literally like 20, 25 minutes each. But like he released like 5 albums by 5 different artists, like week after week after week, and he produced them all.
Oh.
And he rapped them, and he had like a verse on I think at least one song in all of them. So it's recorded in the West Lake of West, like Kanye West, so his ranch in Wyoming. Daytona, that's Pusha T's album. I think that got nominated for Best Rap Album, and lots of the fucking piece of shit Cardi B thing. Gay, which is Kanye's newest album. Kids See Ghosts, which is a that's Kanye West and Kid Cudi. They have like a 20-minute collaboration album between themselves. Mm-hmm. Nazir, which is Nas's new album, and KTSE, which Tiana Taylor, I think. I don't know. I heard it literally once just in preparation for this. It's pretty good. I only heard it once. Can't really. I don't know. So 2 albums focusing on are Gay, obviously, because it's Kanye's new album. If you look at the cover, it says, I hate being bipolar, it's awesome. Pretty fucking obvious that it's going to be talking about his mental health and mental health in general. And also Kids See Ghosts, which is the Kanye West, Kid Cudi co-produced album. Mm-hmm. People usually take these separately. I usually look at them together, like pretty much anytime I listen to them. I'll have a playlist and it'll be all of Ye and then all of Kids See Ghosts, because they're only 20 reasons. Released a week apart, produced in the same recording sessions. Kanye raps predominantly on both albums. He had a verse on all the other ones, but like one verse and like one song, whereas he's like have like a verse or 2 on every song on Kids See Ghosts. And obviously Ye is his own album. They have very similar themes of like mental health and dealing with it, and you know, kind of helping others with mental health to deal with it. And Ghost Town is a song on Ye, and Free is in parentheses called Ghost Town Part 2, which is clearly like a continuation. It's like basically the same song, just like different version of it. So 2 halves make a whole. Mm-hmm. So instead of looking at like 2 real small albums, I look at it at 1 big album with like kind of like an intermission or like a switch up. Kind of like if you had like a vinyl and like how you can only like have so many songs in it. So like Ye would be the side A and Kids See Ghosts would be the side B. Would be how I look at it. Mm-hmm. Ye explained. So like the being formerly known as Kanye West, I am Ye. I believe Ye is the most commonly used word in the Bible, and in the Bible it means you. So I'm you, I'm us, it's us. It went from Kanye, which means the only one, to just Ye, just being a reflection of our good, and our bad, our confused everything. The album is more a reflection of who we are. So, at this point in time, Kanye just decides to stop going by Kanye and just called by Ye. That's his explanation.
See, his logic is always like, I can't fault him for it, but like, also why?
Yeah.
You know?
That's very common if you have any understanding of Kanye West. A lot of wholesome content in Ye. This one isn't wholesome, but like I'm just using this as like themes. The most beautiful thoughts are always beside the darkest. Today I seriously thought about killing you. I contemplated premeditated murder. And I think about killing myself when I love myself way more than I love you. So, today I thought about killing you. Premeditated murder. You'd only care enough to kill somebody you love. The most beautiful thoughts are always inside the darkest. Deep shit. Now, a very common theory about who this person Kanye is talking about is like an alter ego who is like his own ego. So he's thinking about killing his own ego. Because it just brought him nothing but problems this whole time. Okay? It's also just fucking... It's cool. It's like a spoken word thing. It's fucking sick, bro. That's my bipolar shit, N-word. What? That's my superpower, N-word. Ain't no disability. I'm a superhero. I'm a superhero. So throughout this whole album, and also Kids See Ghosts, he's like trying to be like, okay, there's a negative stigma about mental health. Let's change that.
Yeah.
So instead of it being like, oh, it's a problem, it's what makes me different, it's what makes me unique, it's what makes me me, it's what makes me great.
Well, he's right. Like, he wouldn't be so erratic without it.
Yeah. And I think, like, I remember just, like, reading, like, a different article in terms of researching this, and I forgot who, like, a doctor. The article was like, oh, Kanye's being an idiot because he's calling, like, bipolar a superpower. Don't you know it, like, hinders people and causes problem for people in real life, completely missing the point.
Yeah.
But, like, in it, it references, like, look how stupid this doctor is for saying that, like, Kanye's changing of the stigma of mental health is actually, like, a really good thing, just in general. Like, an actual, like, psychologist or whatever said that.
Yeah.
So, pretty sick, bro. Wouldn't leave. Kim and Kanye, making fun of that shit. This line, though. My wife calling screaming, say we about to lose it all. Had to calm her down because she couldn't breathe. Told her she could leave me now, but she wouldn't leave.
Aww.
You don't understand a relationship unless you're actually in it. Okay? So this whole fucking like negative stigma around Kanye and Kim and how, oh, they're idiots, how they're retarded, everything they do is stupid and scabby and scummy. You don't understand what it's like. For them, you're not in their shoes.
Why am I being lectured? Don't lecture me.
You're literally at a Kanye West lecture. Of course I'm going to lecture you. You fucking bitch. In Ghost Town, I've been trying to make you love me, but everything I try just takes you further from me.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
I know, right? I put my hand on the stove to see if I still bleed. Yeah, and nothing hurts anymore. I feel kind of free.
Right.
Yeah. It's kind of just like, fuck it. You know? Kids See Ghosts tour. It's fucking sick. Look at this shit. They're in like a glass box that's like being hung up by like wires like over a crowd. It just looks fucking cool. Thought I'd let you know. So wholesome content in Kids See Ghosts. I can still feel the love. I don't feel pain anymore. Guess what, baby? I feel free.
Oh.
That's Ghost Town Part 2.
Yeah.
In Ghost Town Part 1, it was, I put my hand on the stove to see if I still bleed and nothing hurts anymore. I feel kind of free. So he doesn't feel pain anymore. Cool. I'm so reborn. I'm moving forward. Keep moving forward. Ain't no stress on me, Lord. I'm moving forward. Keep moving forward. Keep moving forward. Remember though, both Kanye West and Kid Cudi had to go into mental rehab for like severe psychological breakdowns.
Yeah.
So for them to come out of that and say, I'm reborn, I'm moving forward, I'm moving on with my life, it makes your kokoro go doki doki is all I'm saying. Okay? At times wonder my purpose, easy then to feel worthless, but peace is something that starts with me. Kid Cudi said that, but like same project, the whole stigma, and just simply stay strong. So like these are all just sort of like a lot of like the course of this are just like things where like if you're panicking, if you're having like a mental freak out, think of some of these lines. Like I can still feel the love, stay strong, I'm reborn, I feel free. Shit like that. Good thing to just like it's kinda like an anthem, like it's real memorable, it's real catchy, so it's like, okay. Ugh. It's right there. Celebrities are not people. The thesis statement of the album gets its own slide because it's real perfectly encapsulated here. That's a meme of somebody photoshopped Kanye making out with Kanye instead of making out with Kim. It's actually kind of funny. Y'all been telling jokes that's going to stress me out. As soon as I walk in, I'm like, let's be out. I was off the chain. I was often drained. I was off the meds. I was called insane. What an awesome thing, engulfed in shame. So people talking shit about Kanye all the time, and he's like, yeah, it gets to me. It stresses me out. It's not a good thing. I don't like living in that environment. Obviously, this is part of what led to his fucking mental breakdown. Which is why he's from Reborn, because he feels reborn afterwards. You know? Mm-hmm. There's still bad lyrics in this album, though. I can't not... You know how many girls I took to the titty shop? If you get the ass with it, that's a 50 pop.
Oh, God, okay.
Let's have a threesome, me, you, and a blunt. I love your titties because they prove I can focus on two things at once. None of us would be here without cum.
Well, he's not wrong.
Kids see ghosts. She said that I'm in the wrong hole. I said I'm lost. Yeah, so that was great. It was an emotional thing. He releases I Love It the same year, September 7th. You're such a fucking hoe, I love it. I'm a sick fuck, I like a quick fuck, I like my dick sucked, I'll buy you a sick truck, I'll buy you some new tits, I'll get you that nip tuck.
Okay.
You're such a fucking hoe, I love it. I think it was like for some like Pornhub Awards that he made this song or whatever. He has 4 kids at this point in time. They're all daughters and a wife, and it's a Roblox music video for some reason. It was really weird. Yandy. Remember Yeezus? Mm-hmm. Remember how that had like no cup? Yandy. Because after he's been reborn, he's trying to like spread his message. He's trying to do some good things. Gonna be released September 29th, 2018. Everyone was looking for it. Yes?
When is the gospel album?
That's coming up. Okay, that's real close. September 29th, 2018.
Oh god.
Whoops.
I saw the next slide.
So that they came and went, and and it didn't come out.
Okay.
And people were like, Kanye, what the fuck? He was like, it just isn't finished. So he just tries to work on it. He's trying to figure things out because his message just sort of just changed a bit, and he's just not happy with the way it is, and he just wants to. He's been doing this like for ages. Like remember Life of Pablo? How he's like, oh swish, and then it changed to Ways, and then changed to Life of Pablo.
Yeah.
You know, he's known to be a perfectionist who tries to get the finer details right constantly. So this is nothing new. It's just ffrustrating. Kanye went to the White House again. Yeah, I think he talked about shit like the school system, but also like making invisible planes for the Space Force. Yeah. Off the meds. I love the new music I've been working on. 6 months off meds and I can feel me again. Remember when Dark Fantasy came out? I used to tweet a storm also. So people were not happy with this because people were like, oh, Kanye, you shouldn't be bragging that you're off the meds. A lot of people need medication. So this is, I think like my guest tonight or some David Letterman talk show that's like a Netflix exclusive thing. Yeah. And Kanye goes on for an interview and he gets asked about this and he's like, okay, the medication didn't work for me. Because like America has this weird like insistence on medication constantly being the answer even though it usually isn't. Yeah. So he's like, I was getting medication and I thought it was making me fat. So he went to his doctor and was like, hey, can I get off it? And the doctor straight up told him, I can give you some that won't make you fat. So he's like, this medication is clearly just like negatively affecting me. It's not helping me at all. I don't want it. I don't need it. I don't like it. So he just like stops taking it. And he tries, you know? And he's like, this is me. This is my story. I am not you. Just because I'm not on it doesn't mean you shouldn't be on it. Okay? He's not saying medication is bad. He's saying medication was bad for him.
Yeah. That's fair.
Fair enough. Just addressing this now before somebody fucking loses their mind. Despite this incredible year where he produced 5 albums in 5 weeks, and I Love It was one of the biggest songs ever, he only gets nominated for Producer of the Year. You know, kind of gay. Jason White. Gospel shit starts happening now.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So the way Jason White met Kanye, from what I understand from a Rolling Stone interview, is he was like just working in church, and he was like a famous gospel person or whatever, and just Kanye was just looking for a choir, and he was recommended to them, and that just sort of happened, and this is him right there. Sunday service was a weekly thing that happened. He would just get all of his gospel together, and he would just perform gospel covers of a lot of his songs. Eventually he would create some new songs, changed lyrics to a lot of them, you know. So y'all need Jesus, obviously. And there's a surprise prison visit actually for the newest album where he just like went to like a male prison and a women prison, and he just sang all of his songs about Jesus and how much he loves Jesus. And you can find clips of it online. They're like women like crying because it means that much to them. It's fucking great. It's some wholesome content. Sam West is born. Oh, sorry. He only had 3 children when he released I Love It. This is his 4th, born May 10th, 2019. So while all this Jesus shit is happening, Jesus is King. His newest, most recent album. It gets released. Very controversial thing he did, by his own admittance of controversy. He asked all of those involved not to engage in premarital sex, just to better communicate themselves to Lord Jesus Christ.
But
Y'all need Jesus.
But
You need Jesus?
But well, that's a bit
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's
I'm not explaining it. I'm saying he said that.
But
He also
him of all people though, it's like,
well, premarital. He's not saying not have sex at all.
but he had so much premarital sex.
Yeah. And now he's bored again, and now he understands, okay, I was messed up in the... I'll get on to that point later, but he's like, I fucked up in the past. It's me trying to re-encounter Jesus, me trying to learn from my mistakes, me trying to change as a human being.
Okay.
And besides, he's been married to Kim Kardashian since like 2014. That's like 5 years. Think of the stupid shit you were doing in like 2013. Would you really want to be judged by that stupid shit today?
Touche. Move on.
Okay. Also, he didn't swear at all on this album.
Okay.
Just because of Jesus.
Because Jesus is King.
Yeah, and a great thing he says about the album is like, yeah, because even if you're atheist, by saying the name because it's so popular and you have to talk about it and talk about other shit, you are forced to say the one truth. That Jesus is King. I'm like, oh, I'm agnostic. I'm not really religious at all, but like, it's kind of cute. So,
Cute.
So he releases another short film before he called just Jesus is King. I haven't seen it. I think it was just like an American thing. And also on Christmas Day he releases Jesus is Born, which is closer to what people were expecting because Jesus is King is only half an hour long, and the choir aren't really incorporated in it that much. They're way more incorporated in the Jesus is Born, which is like an hour and a half long. Oh shit! What was it?
Jesus
is
is born.
Okay, so yeah, just Jesus is Born. It's born created Christmas Day, 2019. But the biggest criticism people have about Jesus King is like, well, it's not really a gospel album because Kanye is so egotistical he can't like not bring up himself. But I look at that as criticism and I'm like, it's a Kanye West gospel album. How are you expecting Kanye to not bring up Kanye?
Yeah.
No matter how born again he is. It's like saying that like the album is bad because of that, which is what like people like the Needle Drop have done, would kind of like be like me saying, College Dropout is bad because it's a rap album. You know, it's like that's what it is. You can't say it's bad. You can not like it because of that, but you can't say it's bad because of that. Be my thoughts on that issue, and there are reasons not to like this album. Follow God music video for this album. This is what he says, just like an interlude before the song starts or anything. So, my dad came to visit me at one of our ranches in Cody, Wyoming. He talked about his love for fishing and how he would come here in the summers. It took me 42 years to realize that my dad was my best friend. He asked me, how many acres is this? I told him 4,000. He replied with these 3 words, a black man. Okay. So, kind of, probably knows I haven't talked about it that much.
Yeah.
So, what was understood prior to this point, like even from the very start, I just forgot to mention, it was just Kanye's mom divorced his dad when Kanye was like 3 years old, and they moved to Chicago. So people kind of just like assuming Kanye has a bad relationship with his dad, but it's really more of just like not public. It'd be like Kanye would like spend his summers with his dad, and they had like a grand relationship, as far as those kind of things could go. He just didn't live with him constantly. So this was like, oh cool, he's with his dad, he's gay all the time. Nice moment. Yeah, this that's why I charged the prices that I charged. This is an actual quote he said on his gospel album. These are actual pictures from his merchandise store. These aren't photoshopped, these aren't fake at all. Cost you $80 for that terrible Jesus lightning thing.
Oh god.
I'm once again going to reiterate that I don't know anything about fashion, and it might be great, but
The owners, I understand.
No, I don't. I don't get this at all.
This I don't understand.
Yeah. So bad lyrics. This is the major one. There could be arguments for others, but they're not like terrible. They don't laugh out loud like close on Sunday. You're my Chick-fil-A. Chick-fil-A is not a thing in Ireland. No, it's not. So maybe I'm just missing something, but I don't think I am. And the worst part about this is like, this is like, oh, the song's gonna be trash, but then like an hour in, a minute in, because I'm like a minute and a half or 2 minutes or whatever, there's a beat switch and it turns to like one of the most epic, like awesome, greatest Kanye songs he's ever made. But like you have to sit through fucking Close on Sunday on my Chick-fil-A to reach that point. So the question at this point is, has he changed? Maybe. I'll just give you some quotes. I bow down to the king upon the throne.
Okay.
All the demons let him know, this a mission, not a show. This is my eternal soul.
Okay.
Right? So he's acknowledging, did bad shit in the past. This isn't the show. This isn't like fucking gay shit. Told the devil that I'm going on a strike. I've been working for you my whole life.
I like that line.
Yeah. Okay. I ain't gonna defend nothing. It's not a defense, it just is, and we just are, and it is so. It's simple. This mentality should not be defeated. Ye can't die, you can't be buried, there is nothing, there is no enemy. Enemy is a concept of itself. And he was called a centillionaire to a billionaire, and he was annoyed at that. He's a billionaire at this point. Remember he was like $500 million in debt, or $50 million, whatever, and now he's a billionaire.
So he's fine.
Yeah. And that's a real important thing that Kanye keeps bringing up time and time again. Time and time again throughout this album, where he was like, I started off making Jesus walks as a wholesome guy. Last year, like at this point in time of this interview, I released I Love It, where I said, you're such a fucking hoe, I love it. How did this happen? I done goofed. So
Done goofed.
he's like, for all of like Life of Pablo and Jesus, he was trying so desperately to go his own way and to like while like not really following God at all, and it didn't work out for him, and he got $50 million in debt. Since becoming a born again Christian, he's a billionaire now. He just makes the connection that clearly I fucked up. Clearly following Jesus is the right thing for me to do as a person. There were times when I was asking people on the album not to have premarital sex. Well, there you go. Already gone over that. And this is the thing he was saying. This is such a win for the kingdom. For Kanye to come back home from going from Jesus Walks to I Love It, to say to God, I tried it my way, it's not working out, everything is in shambles, I'm ending up in debt, making this money but still ending up in debt. My public standing is in shambles, I'm not in good shape, I'm having ups and downs with my health, people calling me crazy, people not wanting to sit with me, I have to give it up to God. Right? So, like, say what you want about the guy, you understand why he's like, Jesus Christ. Kinda. So, you were asking what his stance is on Donald Trump currently. He hasn't said anything particularly negative about him, from what I understand currently, with the race riots and shit. But on June 4th, the day of Floyd's memorial in Minnesota, West Reps confirmed that he donated $2 million in total contributions to support the Floyd, Arbery, and Taylor families and legal defense for Arbery and Taylor. He also created a 529 plan to fully cover college tuition for Floyd's 6-year-old daughter, Diana. Oh. So, he hasn't said anything negative about Trump, but he's also supporting the side that Trump's kind of trying to fuck over. You know?
You can have both.
Yeah. Furthermore, the father of four has made donations to several black-owned businesses in crisis in his home state of Illinois and nationwide amid the ongoing protests and Black Lives Matter movement, his rep told ET. So, I think it's relatively safe to say at this point that Trump's politics are so bad that even though Kanye was like, I like you because you're an outsider, he's like, you fucked up too much this time.
Well, he's also fucking up all the outsiders.
Yeah.
In the country.
Yeah, exactly.
So, and he's black.
Yeah.
And sure, he talked about that in like his previous albums, didn't he?
Yeah.
So, of course you'd have a stance.
Yeah, he said George Bush doesn't care about black people. That was his first controversy. Yeah. So, obviously, he's going to be pissed off when Donald Trump very clearly doesn't care about black people.
Oh, it's so obvious, yeah.
Yeah. That's the last slide, by the way. Did you appreciate knowing that celebrities are in fact people?
Yeah.
Woo!
That was actually really entertaining. I'm surprised. You did well.
Yeah. I'm a smart boy.
Yeah.
With a small dick. Okay, let's end this.
Why? Oh, why did you say that?
Whoa, this is the end of the lecture. If you made it this far, then that probably means you like the sound of my voice. I got other videos, subscribe or whatever. Unfortunately for you, if you do want to subscribe, I'm weeaboo trash. But maybe do it anyway and check out some of my other videos. Maybe you don't think they're the worst things ever. I do plan on having another lecture relatively soon. I have the PowerPoint ready and everything, just waiting for an appropriate time to record. In the meantime, I'm watching a lot of anime because I want to have the ultimate anime of the decade video, which means more content for anybody fucking gay enough to subscribe. Jesus Christ, what's my life become?